Trey Jones led the Spurs with 22 points and 9 assists, while Wemby had 12, 11, and 6 blocks. Mania has begun. The first four played last night. Wagner held off Howard, and Virginia went down.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play one to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. That's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. Together, we form the Morning Huddle, driven and captained by the Easy E. Edwin Hafner. How you doing this morning, RJ, in your Astros gear? Welcome to baseball. Happy baseball, as what's his name would say. Name fell out of my brain.
Happy baseball, as what's his name would say.
That's what
everybody's saying.
It wasn't I was going to say the Fugees, but that wasn't them. The Black Eyed Peas. What's the guy, the lead?
Will.i.am.
Will.i.am. I was at a concert pre-Super Bowl. I forget the city. I think it was Tampa. And he had this great show, and they're done. And as we're walking away, he screams into the microphone, "Happy football." And I thought, dude, you should have stopped while you were ahead. From that point on, I was making fun of things like that. But we digress early in the morning. It is baseball season. They are playing on another hemisphere. The Asian perimeter playing host. Seoul, Korea has the Padres and the Dodgers going at it right now. They're on the four-letter network. Shohei already has a hit, and life is good for the Dodgers.
I appreciate the Padres so much. I don't know if I've ever told you this, because they make me feel a little bit less like a loser for the colors of my high school.
Yeah, the brown. It is. I was thinking your affinity for brown is now reflected not only in the Padres, but the Spurs. They wore their glorious brown last night and played much like a brown stain. But I was proud of them.
How funny that they get to wear the cool jerseys in Austin.
Yeah.
And they show up at home, and it's
Well,
the first home game. It's like, oh no, we got the cast offs.
You know
that's
what?
all that's clean right now.
You just brought up something that would make me feel better. They can go to Austin, and I won't bitch about it ever again, but they have to wear our city edition jerseys there. That's all I'm asking. I will never bitch again. But what has to happen when we go to Austin to play and if you're watching, and you should be, our YouTube feed, and you can see my pretentious air quotes when I say, when we go up and play a home game, we take our home court and put it up there, that ugly one. Whatever ugly uniform we choose next year for our city edition, when we go to Austin, it's a home game. So let's play with our home city court. Would that make me feel better?
I want to amend this slightly. I want to reserve the right to just choose the ugliest uniform.
Okay.
Because the city edition might be cool next year. That's all I'm saying. I was never a fan of. Do you remember the all silver ones with just the big spur? I hate
the ones that look like a AAU practice uniform. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So in an example, it would have been those. You get what I'm saying? I just want to make sure. Okay, the uniform we like the least. That's what you get.
We'll talk about what we saw last night. I put it to you. We're nearing the end of the Victor Wembanyama rookie run. He looked tired. He looked out of sorts. We might be looking every other game until he reaches the minimum. That was not his best effort for a lot of ways. But on the other side of that, I'm proud of that basketball team last night. They showed me something. They fought. They played horrible. They dumb. But man, Devin, I saw something in you last night. Keldon, you too. Those two went at it. And Trey, damn it, it's your fault to get. No, Trey Jones had a good game.
It sort of had it all. There was some great moments, some great basketball, and then there was some this is why you are who you are. And of course, there was a third quarter collapse, and then there was a fourth quarter run to make it interesting. And then there was okay, this is it. These are the final moments. Let's be great. And of course, you can't get it done.
Well,
so in some ways, it checks every box of showing us nice things, but losing and establishing higher probabilities of a lottery.
I can't wait to hear the last probability, if there ever was one, of the Spurs winning. We're going to talk about it in just a couple of minutes. And of course, at 7, we do our every silver and black. We're going to hear from Pop. He too was proud of the team. They showed some fight, but we saw in the end, man, oh man, sins of commission, sins of omission, they're all sins, but man, they just cannot get out of their own way sometimes. Not even close. And while I was watching that, I'm going back and forth from the first 4 up there in Dayton. How cool would that be? Dayton traditionally gets to host this first 4. They sell it out all the time. You can get a ticket for those 2 games a night for about $90. I know we get the Final 4 next year, but I'm greedy. I think that would be the coolest thing to have.
I think that is
it'd be a lot of fun, man.
Misguided. It
would, and I wouldn't give up the Final 4 for anything. And
would you have wanted that Virginia performance last night?
That was such a load of bull. How the hell? That was as bad. They didn't score. Virginia did not score a bucket for 9 minutes in the first half. It was as an inept basketball as I've ever seen. I know that they rotate the selection committee, but that was a whiff.
I think, and you could speak to this a little bit more than I can, but there comes a point in sports fandom when you just kind of feel like, well, I think I've seen it all. Like you're like, I've seen everything. Like I've seen any possible permutation of results that this game can yield. Wow, that was the one. There's just no way that there's anything left in this under the hood that I haven't touched. And then you watch a team put up 14 points in the first half of competitive basketball game. I mean, that was like some little league stuff. You know what I mean? That was some like peewee, every kid's just missing every shot. And you're just like, oh man, there's still 12 minutes left in this thing. And we gotta scream and yell and clap and pretend like everything's going awesome. And it's weird enough when it happens in general, but to happen, I hesitate to call Virginia a blue blood. But I mean, we're talking about
they're an ACC old school, but they're not blue blood, but they're old school. What I mean?
But we're talking about like a legitimate basketball program. Yes. If this had been Wagner, you know what I mean? No offense, but we'd be like, okay, well, you are who you are. But for Virginia to have fallen, and a Virginia team that won the title, 5 years ago, whatever it was.
Yes.
I mean,
and been in the game twice to win it. So
you have to, you can stumble into more than 14 points in a first half. That was wild.
It was as bad as it could have been. And, you wonder, I love the play-in. And keep in mind, those first 4 teams, most of the time, at least 2 of those guys make it through the first weekend, make it through the first game. They win 2 games. So pay attention to these. But Colorado showed something last night. While Virginia can't shoot, they do play defense. Yeah, Colorado State. They can play defense. And
they have UT, so there's a lot of people who are going to see them.
Texas, beware! That's a team that you won't see a team that plays tougher defense than Virginia. I'm not sure how good it is, but they'll beat you up. That was humiliating. On the other side, Howard came back late to make it a game. Wagner with their mighty 7 players. Wagner. First NCAA win. That's the kind of thing that you watch these games for. I mean, they're going in against North Carolina. Those kids got to fly to Dayton, get a game. They're going to go fly to the regional. It's awesome. So last night, it was a worthy
cool for
beginning.
Them. This is a weird thing, and you've talked before about doing a bracket based off of mascots, right? I have a question for you, just a general, honest question.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of another Seahawk? I had never heard in any sport of another Seahawk except for Seattle until Wagner last night. I mean, I feel like, Tigers, whatever. You could name a billion Tigers, right? Name another Seahawk specifically.
You say that, and the only reason there was a team that we used to play in AAU basketball that were the Seahawks. So it was something kind of normal in my life, but you're right. Up until them, I had never heard of a single other. And it's kind of I guess Wagner is close to the ocean. You can't just say you're the Seahawks if your school's in Iowa.
Right. But Howard is the Bison, which is it North Dakota State that's the Bison?
Yeah.
So, okay, very easy. Virginia's the Cavaliers. Boom. Easy enough. Although that's kind of rare too, but I do feel like that's a really popular high school mascot. The Cavaliers.
Yeah, it's a ritzy name.
And the Rams of Colorado State, there's a lot of Rams, but like again, find another Seahawk. You can't.
No, because I think it's a proximity thing. Like you couldn't be named the Polar Bears if you're a school in Arizona. I mean, so first of all, you're relegated to a coastal region, and Seahawks probably. I just kind of figure Seahawks are kind of where the Seattle is, but maybe there's Seahawks in warmer climates.
Pacific Northwest.
This is one of the things we use our tremendous reach as. If you are on our YouTube feed, you can type in any kind of response and be part of the Brigade Bar. But to be there, to type there, you got to go there. So make sure you're on our YouTube feed watching us live. Edwin, I did not clarify what I'm giving away today, but I do see a list of things that are possibles. I have fight tickets, I know. Is that all I've got?
I believe so. Let me check real quick.
Because I do see some Stained tickets that I would like to give away at some point, because
I think Far Away is the Stained song I thought of yesterday. I think.
I'd have to hear it. I'm sure I know.
Breaking Benjamin and Stained.
Yes.
And
So Far Away.
Dawson.
Do I have those?
Interesting.
Both of them, yeah.
Oh, I do have Breaking Benjamin and Stained. All right, morning crew. We have things for you to be aware of. So I'm going to be giving away tickets this hour to go see Breaking Benjamin and Stained with special guests, Daughtry and Lakeview. They're going to be at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. Very cool place. You want to go, hold on tight. I will be giving them away in the next 30 minutes. Let's do this about 6:45. I have tickets to go see the March the 30th, the World Championship Boxing is coming to our beautiful Techport that's hosting Freddie Roach, the trainer, superstar. He's got his young stud, Gio Cabrera. He'll be headlining the fights. We've also got Justin Figueroa and Shariah Maru going to be here as well. Big old fight, March the 30th at the Techport. They put on a good party, a great show. That's DMP Boxing. We will do that in the 9 o'clock hour. So our appointments have been set. Things have been put together, and we shall progress with the plan as played. I have buried the lead. Yesterday, RJ had a chance to talk with Ernie Johnson. Yeah, that guy. He of the TBS crew. He's going to be doing some tournament work, or is it just Shaq and the boys that do this?
No, he's hosting a ton of stuff. So he's about to be pretty busy.
Busy. Had a chance to sit down, and you talked to him about Wemby?
I did. He had quite the things to say about Victor Wembanyama.
That's Must Listen Radio, and he will be here about 7:45 as RJ had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. So let's start this party appropriately with a letdown, but was it really? Can you lose and win at the same time? Rosie Perez told us sometimes when you win, you lose, and sometimes when you lose, you win. We'll talk about the Spurs. They went down last night, but they went down swinging, and that might have been enough. We got a lot to do. Let's pay for this fantastic radio broadcast. Coming back, we're talking Spurs right here on the Morning Huddle. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
JD, have you ever been at a bar or something and talking to some gay guy and you kind of put it out there you might be just to get the attention?
No.
Just
put it out there?
Not
John's
experimenting.
Not experimenting
with nothing.
You
Danish
just
wife.
invited a room full of men to come sit naked in your hot tub during the break.
All right. The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
The ultimate March Hoops experience is in downtown Las Vegas. Don't miss out on Mega March at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's no than in the 6 pools at Circa with their 143-foot screen. Experience the game's poolside with various seating options. No matter the size of your group, Stadium Swim is the place to be. Find all the Stadium Swim options at CircaLasVegas.com and join Jason and Joe from the Blitz for Mega March at Circa Resort and Casino. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com.
Heard the catchphrase that's sweeping the nation?
Jackson, Hugh, yeah.
People are saying Jackson Hugh yeah to Jackson Hewitt because they love saving money on tax prep. Do you love saving money? Then switch to Jackson Hewitt today and pay less than last year. Thousands of people have already made the switch. Why haven't you? Stop waiting and start filing. You won't get a better deal or a better catchphrase. All together now.
Jackson Hugh, yeah!
Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Ulta Beauty's semi-annual beauty event is happening now. Unleash your love for beauty with 50% off daily beauty steals on hair, skin, makeup, and fragrance. Shop your favorite brands like Tarte and Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. Plus, grab perfect hair care pairs from brands like Redken and Olaplex. And check out new arrivals from brands like Charlotte Tilbury and Dyson. Shop the Ulta Beauty semi-annual beauty event online, in-store, or try pickup today. Now through March 28th. Ulta Beauty. The possibilities are beautiful. Conditions apply.
This Entertainment Insider is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. With the series finale of Curb Your Enthusiasm only weeks away, actress Cheryl Hines says saying goodbye won't be easy.
I'm not really ready. I'm not ready. Wow. Although, that being said, I feel so fortunate that we've come this far. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. I'm going to miss it.
See why over 28 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the March Spring Sale, March 15th through the 25th, and get 35% off paints and stains with prices starting at $28.92. That means 35% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 35% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's time, basketball bettors. It's March Mania. I'm Rob Thompson here to tell you about BetUS.com. Over the years, I've endorsed only one sportsbook and casino, and that's been BetUS.com for years. They've been driving to the basket for 30 years, and I've been a part of it. And this year, BetUS has got an epic three-pointer going for you. 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambling insurance. It's epic. Get started by visiting BetUS.com or give them a call at 1-800-I-BET-US. BetUS, it's where the game begins.
The NCAA tournament is here, and college basketball pick'em is the easiest way to get in on the action with Underdog Fantasy, a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports. And I love playing the pick'em game, and during the tournament, no better way to get in on the action than the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. Select higher or lower on all different kinds of stats in this week's NCAA tournament games for a chance to win big. You could win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Endless projections to choose from. So go to their easy-to-use mobile app or to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Must be 18 or over, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or go to ncpgambling.org. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR.
My name is Jessica. Years ago, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition. I slept all the time, was fatigued, had no energy, and a bad attitude. Now I've lost 50 pounds and I'm still losing. My medications have been scaled back, my emotions are stable, and I have lots of energy. People at work say I'm happy, perky, and my husband says he's not walking on eggshells around me any longer. The Institute for Functional Health changed my life.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
This is Andrew Monica, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I haven't gotten an update. I assume we're full, but if we are, doesn't matter. You can still come out and hang with us, and maybe you want to go to the post party. But the golf tournament is going off on Monday. I swung some clubs yesterday.
Considering what you did yesterday, I found that to be a little dangerous.
Well, it was before I went out there.
Okay.
I was yesterday. I had a dentist appointment. I cracked a tooth. I didn't know it was cracked. I thought I had a cavity. I was in pain. It was supposed to be at 11. It ended up being. I had to wait while my doctor got the appropriate stuff, and realized it was tournament on Monday. So I pulled my clubs out, and I realized as I pulled my clubs out that I couldn't find my 5-iron. It sucks. I left my 5-iron, I guess, the last time I played. That's so typical. So, I was laughing at people that are just selling like individual irons on Facebook.
Right. That's you.
That's me. Now I'm buying those individual irons. So it's total karma, right? That I bring it up on air and literally found out yesterday, like, oh, there's a club I need. So
wow,
I'm going to be meeting someone in a police department parking lot sometime soon, buying an old, barely used TaylorMade from 1999. Like new.
Yeah.
What's the old ping blue dots or something like that? It's like new ping blue dot from 1993.
Wow.
The Spurs, it was an ugly basketball game last night. There's no getting around the game. It was ugly. Dallas looked tired. Luka, the Spurs did a great job on Luka. He was uncomfortable all night. It's hard to argue when he walks off the court with a triple-double, but it was not a pretty triple-double. The difference maker in the game last night was Kyrie. And there was nobody going to stop Kyrie. When he's in his bag, it's a beautiful thing to watch. It really is. And I don't like Kyrie. I'm not a fan. He's also doing the Ramadan stuff too. So he's not drinking or eating during the sunlight, which is a testament to what he did.
Yeah, I saw a story. He's the Mavs are flying a personal, or I don't know if it's personal or private, but either way, an individual chef to have his, I think it's vegetarian meals ready as soon as he can eat them. So insane commitment.
I remember Hakeem. I remember Elijah doing that. And I can't. Can you imagine playing a basketball game and not drinking anything?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a lot of commitment.
That is, it's superhuman. I just can't even imagine how you do it and the toll it must take on your body. I guess you're allowed to have maybe an IV the moment that the sun sets. I don't know what the
specifics are.
Yeah, but my gosh. But it was spectacular to see what he did. I'm not a fan, but the Spurs made it easy. Pop post game talked about his team and of course the turnover bugaboo. Here's Pop.
Look, you guys got stat sheets over there? No, we out-rebounded them. We shot better than they did. We outscored them in the third quarter, outscored them in the fourth quarter. We had the same number of assists, basically. I think they had one more than we did. But we had 16 turnovers. That's the difference in the game. I couldn't be more proud of the way we played. We have made all kinds of mistakes, but so did they, and they want to win a championship. Our goal is to get better every game, individually and team-wise, and they did that. I'm really proud of what they did. That's the bottom line, nothing else to it. They busted their ass and played to win. Can't ask for anything else.
Well, maybe a W. But sometimes Pop's blowing smoke, and sometimes he's trying to, feed an narrative. Last night, he's telling the truth. I felt the same way. I was mad at him, but they fought.
So, you know how sometimes when an NFL team has like everything wrapped up and they kind of coast down the stretch, and then it's like, oh, they're going to start calling the good plays now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Where's that special super play?
They've just been saving the good plays. I think that we're on the verge of a high level of, I don't even want to call it cope because it might be somewhat fair, at least with regards to certain games like this one, to where you could convince me that there's a code red at some point in the game where they're like, okay, we've done enough, we've accomplished our goals. Ping pong ball time, code ping pong ball. Because you're right, like they played well enough to win, and it's almost too coincidental the way that they tend to fall apart at the perfect moment. It's just enough to see them lose the game. I mean, you mentioned it defensively. Luka only had 18 points. You said he had a triple double. That's tied for the second fewest amount of points he had last night.
It's the worst shooting night of his season.
I don't care what happens. Like, you do that to Luka with the heater he's been on, like, that says a lot about you and who you are as a team. And so I certainly believe that, I'm not saying that they just made a decision and they 100% chose to lose, but I could be convinced of that at a certain point.
Well, we've always said that organizations tank, players don't, because film follows you. I mean, you're going to play as hard as you can every second you're on the basketball court, because that's your livelihood. That's your living. The better you play, the more you make. But you can orchestrate a loss by who is actually in the game. And about 4 years ago, it's been 3 years ago, when the Spurs were first beginning the tank job. Not the Wemby year, but prior to that. And Pop, you could tell it would get close, and suddenly he'd sub in like Nando De Colo. Like, what? Why is this guy in? And while he was playing his best he could, he was obviously outmatched, and he manipulated what could have been a win into an obvious loss. Now, it wasn't De Colo, but I forget the guy he would bring in. That you go, well, this cat is not here for the win. So, yeah, I get you. And that's strategic substitution patterns, I think, is what you pay attention to. Because, and though last night, Pop was coaching to win. That was a game he wanted his guys to win. It just wasn't in the cards. They were playing Kyrie, but the effort was there. And Devin, dude, that was as good a game as he has played. And I know that Trey Jones led them in scoring and all that. But Devin, I was so impressed. He was getting to the rim. He was fighting hard. A good game. Good game.
Want some love for Trey.
And at 7:00, we were going to give desserts as they are just. Because Trey's earned some flowers for me, and they're coming. But coming up, flowers are really not in the offing. Well, for University of Virginia and the others. We did begin last night. Did we learn anything? A team with 7 dudes. Is it as bad as he says? We'll talk about the first 4 and the tournament around the bend, both men's and women's. And at 6:45, in just a couple of minutes, right after I give away my tickets here, we're going to talk about a brand new uniform in the NFL that had been leaked, but it ain't what we thought. And who should be changing? We'll talk some fashion sense coming around the bend. Hey, hang around with us. We're looking at the basketball story that is maniacal. March Mania begins. We'll look at that and look forward to 5 o'clock on Friday. The beginning of the Nebraska A&M war begins. Lots to talk about. Come back with us. We're huddling up next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs. They had the Dallas Mavericks in town last night. We're going to react to that. Plus, we got 2 teams that are in the big dance.
But, it's really all about the Dallas Cowboys. We know the sky is falling in Cowboys Nation. Is it because Cowboy fans have zero faith in the front office? We'll dive into that on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing it. Is available stairs, play golf, and move again. Pain-free. No pills, no risky surgery. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. So take action now. It's a great use of your tax refund check, by the way. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over. And if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. African Americans are the most likely to die from colorectal cancer. The most important thing you can do is get screened starting at age 45. Insurance companies are required to cover not only colonoscopy, but also virtual colonoscopy and other less invasive exams. Talk to your doctor about your options. For more information on virtual colonoscopy, visit radiologyinfo.org/virtualct.
Furnished by the American College of Radiology and the Radiology Health Equity Coalition.
Did you know one of the best investments you can make? It's in yourself. At My Computer Career, in just a few months, you could start your new career in the high-demand, recession-resistant field of information technology. Isn't it time you invest in you and start a career in networking, cybersecurity, AI, or upskill to boost your current IT career? So, get the ROI you deserve at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Start now at mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks tomorrow and Friday. Join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Tomorrow, we're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah. And then Friday, we'll be doing it again live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks Live Oak.
San Antonians love a good party, and the Valero Texas Open is one you don't want to miss. Enjoy food, drinks, and the world's best PGA Tour pros as they tee it up at TPC San Antonio. Proceeds help us continue a long-standing tradition of giving back to our community. So buy tickets on ValeroTexasOpen.com and join us April 4th through the 7th.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, let's get real about your hair loss. How long have you been wearing a hat, hiding thinning hair, or a rapidly growing bald spot? Just stop it. You're not a 12-year-old little leaguer. You're a grown man. It's time to take action. Let the hat go and get your real hair back permanently with Bosley. You heard that right. Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. And right now, Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone that texts MORE to 200-300. Plus, text right now and get a link to this month's incredible deals. Join the millions of people who come to Bosley and see just how awesome your hair could look. Text MORE to 200-300 for your absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card off, plus a special link to incredible deals. Text MORE to 200-300 now. Text MORE to 200-300.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
This is Andrew Monaco and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Thanks, Andrew. Them Aggies get busy on Friday as they take on Nebraska. The ladies are going to play Nebraska as well, as tourney time is here. The first four began last night up there in Dayton. The first game, we got a good taste of we got to see Wagner and Howard go at it. Wagner only had 7 guys. That's the kind of story that the NCAA bracketing types love. In my experience, I'll be honest with you, 7 guys is about the best. 8 is ideal as far as everybody participating, guys staying in the flow. The substitution patterns are pretty set. 7 ain't that bad. It's just the repetition. If I only had 7 guys I'm playing twice a week, I'm not mad. Kansas made it this far, but they only got 7 dudes. They're going to get North Carolina as their congratulatory win. But, it's happened twice. 16 seeds have beaten them. And we know from past history, as you're filling out your brackets, these first 4 teams, they build up a little momentum, and a lot of times they win. I like Colorado.
Colorado State.
I'm sorry, Colorado State. I like the headband dude, number 20. He's my favorite player. Other than the Asian cat I forget the school that he plays for, but he's a baller.
Well, we've got Colorado tonight. So maybe you're just prematurely crowning them.
No, forgive me. I mean Colorado State. I don't want to.
Does it really matter?
It does. It does, because for Spurs fans, you want to pay attention to the Colorado game tonight.
Really?
There's a top 5 pick going to be playing.
Oh,
so
I've been paying attention to top 5 picks for a long time now.
And we should be. We were talking earlier about the brackets, and I haven't put together my ladies bracket. I will do that today. Iowa and Caitlin Clark. This is such a unique situation because we all know the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, most popular and probably most well-known college athlete today. And her value to not just women's basketball in the NCAA, but women's basketball in totality.
Period. Right.
Iowa got put in a tough bracket. Tough. And they're not the best team in the country. South Carolina is.
Right.
But Caitlin's the biggest name. And congratulations to the selection committee for making it, not paying attention to the name. But I know that if I had some sway with the totality of the women's NCAA, I'd do my very best to ensure that Caitlin and Iowa made it through at least 2 games, that they were at the very least playing next week in their own Sweet 16 venue. Now, after that, let the chips fall where they may. But I can do some creative bracketing to ensure that my star Caitlin will be on prime time for at least 2 games, and at least 3 games. They might not make 4, but 3 I would think would be important.
Well, no, 4 would constitute a Sweet 16.
Well, they just got to get there. You know what I mean? Just win your first 2, get there. After that, bracketing and seeding, you got to play some good ones. But I could put them in there has never, in my knowledge, and I could be, and I know that was last year, been a 15 or a 16 seed ever win a game in the women's tournament. And that's how it used to be with the men's. But as parity has grown, that starts to be more and more apparent. Women's college basketball is about 25 years behind the men's as far as money and attention and all that other kind of stuff. But it's coming. But still, if you're a 15 or 16 seed, you have no chance.
Generally, obviously, that's what makes
it won't happen again this year. There's such a disparity in women's sports. The greats are great, and the mids are just, it's a miracle. The 1 seeds win.
it's a very top-heavy game right now.
Oh no, in general, it's just
no. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's why I think you want the tops all there. You know what I mean? Like, in a perfect world, you get Iowa, South Carolina, LSU, all in the mix. It'd be a lot of fun. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, they might feel like they did set Iowa up well.
Well, it doesn't appear that way. It's going to be a tough matchup, though. All will be the numbers that they will pull whenever Caitlin Clark plays will be equal to any men's tournament game.
Oh, it'll be more, I think, as the tournament goes. I mean, she's about to put up some historic numbers in a lot of senses.
Huge news for you bracket types. If you've already submitted with a Kansas upset, you're feeling pretty good about it. It was announced yesterday, and we're going to talk with Dr. Jason Garrett about 8:45 about his injury. Kevin McCullough, San Antonio's own, formerly of Tech, transferred to Kansas, was their primary ball handler, distributor, most important guy on that team, is going to miss the entirety of the tournament with a bad knee. They'll be taking it. Kansas takes on Samford in Salt Lake on Thursday. There's still a lot of talent on that Kansas team. That they are blue bloods with McDonald's All-American, but Samford is a very, very good-looking upset possibility for those that have not already turned in their brackets. And if you have, with the assumption that McCullers was playing and Kansas would win, you might want to fill out another one. You might want to submit another one.
You can. You still have time to amend it.
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes you turn in the bracket and it's done. Like you've filled out a paper one and you hand it to somebody.
Who's living in those times these days?
I don't know.
Nobody.
There's a lot of people in this world, RJ. And even though it might be a fraction of the hundreds of millions submitted, we're still talking about 1 million people who are. So
nobody is doing that. Nobody turned in a paper bracket and is like, oh man, can I have it back and erase it?
Somebody listening right now will be turning in a paper bracket to somebody.
No way.
Oh, I guarantee you.
No.
Just because it's not you does not mean the entire world. You young whippersnapper. Some people exist with paper and pen. That's what they do.
When was the last time you turned in a paper bracket?
Well, I will turn one in today. Our family bracket.
Like to where, but your family one, that's different.
Well, you asked the question.
No, but like if everyone's brackets are on the kitchen table, it's a different thing as opposed to like you're making it seem like somebody's in a competitive bracket.
That is a competitive bracket.
It's like 100 people. Nobody is turning in.
So now we're quantifying and qualifying your question. What I said was there's 1 million people listening.
Says in the Brigade Bar, honestly, I have a paper bracket, but at home. Everyone has one to monitor their picks.
Right. And if you did it in pen, you might want to go get another piece of paper. Or if you've submitted already, you might want to submit because Kansas will not have Kevin McCullough.
I think you're reaching. People don't do this anymore.
I'm looking at my bracket right here and notice that there's going to be a scrape out, a knockout.
Well, maybe that's a lesson to use pencil from now on.
Well, that is the key thing. I play golf with pen and do my brackets with pencil.
That's a good call.
That's how we roll here on the Morning Huddle. You talked with Ernie Johnson yesterday. I would think you'd be a little bit more excited.
I am excited.
I don't think you are. I
bet Ernie, he has a bracket challenge that he's sponsoring.
Oh, good.
And I promise you there's no paper involved.
There could be. If I'm involved. Coming back, let's talk the NFL. The Cowboys lost a guy that kind of mattered, even though we barely knew him. The Texans add a few, and they changed their outfit. We'll talk a little bit about all of that next as we look around the NFL, the fashion sense that is and isn't in Houston. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's sports star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
At GiveMeTheVIN.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we specialize in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVIN.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Join Jason and Joe from the Blitz in Las Vegas Thursday, March 28th at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas to celebrate the start of the season with the ceremonial first pitch by Hall of Famer Greg Maddux. Catch all the games on the Circa Las Vegas 78 million pixel screen while you feast on Coney Dogs by American Coney Dog, complimentary apple pie, and more. And oh yeah, moms, drink free. Don't miss the first day of baseball at Circa Resort and Casino. Visit circalasvegas.com for more information. Book your trip now. circalasvegas.com.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, the Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctors Implants. I would say if you have major issues with 4 or more teeth, and a major issue, like a root canal is a major issue, a crown is a major issue. If you have that going on with 4 or more teeth, or maybe you have periodontal disease or something else like that, this is something you should come talk to us about. It's something you should know more about.
Teeth were cracking, teeth were popping out. It hurt my personality because I love to smile. Literally, if you're sitting on the fence, call now. Don't wait. The difference is amazing. It's changed my life, and it will change yours too.
Now servicing San Antonio and Central Texas. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Well, the 6-hour smile.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Let's go! Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle. Let's give away some tickets, baby. Who wants to go see Benjamin and Stained? Insurance Amphitheater on October the 25th, so grab your calendars and mark it out. You want to go 656-3776, 656 Espen to you and me. Caller 7. Number 7 is going to go check out Stained. Oh, they're bringing Daughtry with them, too, and Lakeview. It's going to be a full day of fun at the
They're bringing
Germania.
Monica Geller?
Who?
7. Monica Geller?
Why would I say that? Why would Monica Geller be there?
Are you not familiar with Monica Geller's 7 rant?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Maybe look on Wikipedia. That's all
I will. But Daughtry will be there. And that'll be, this is a Live Nation gig. If you don't get the tickets from us, you can buy them from them at Live Nation. Again, that's October the 25th. Go see Stained and Breaking Benjamin.
Ew.
So the Houston Texans are going to have this big unveiling right before the draft of their new uniform. We were led to believe by many sources. I had a chance to talk with the general, John McClain, with Jason on Friday on the Blitz. He had witnessed the uniform and couldn't say much about it on the threat of death and lawsuit. And then the owner of the franchise, what's his name?
Cal McNair.
Cal Naughton.
Yeah. Cal McNair.
Slingshot engaged. Cal McNair on a Reddit post showed a picture of their all whites.
There was a photo that leaked, and people were wondering if that was them.
Oh, I thought that was McNair that posted that thing.
No, that was to kind of retake control of the narrative.
Oh.
Right? Like there was a leak going around, so he posted and was like, you think you're badass with your leak. Here's the real deal. But they weren't all whites. It was the white tops with the navy pants. And
forgive me. No, the picture I saw, they didn't have navy pants. They had white pants on, dude. I saw a different picture. I think I saw the leak picture. They were in white pants, a blue helmet, a white shirt with writing across the front of their chest. Oh, blue shirt. I'm sorry.
They're white socks. That's what you're seeing. These are
maybe that is the one I saw.
Yeah, these are white
What's
socks.
written across their chest? What is that? Does that say Texans?
It says Houston.
That's what it was. Okay, that's the one.
Because generally teams do that for their road jerseys. What's on their uniform is their city, but for their home jerseys, it's the mascot. They got dragged for these. They look an awful lot like the Falcons jerseys or Falcons uniforms, the black pants and the white tops. And they also don't really look all too different.
But they look good. I'm not going to say they look bad. I was just led to believe. I thought there'd be some more powder blue. That's all I was looking for. The way the cut of the uniform, yeah, looks fine. And how often are they going to be playing the Falcons anyway? So I don't care about that.
They're allegedly going to have several variations, obviously, including a powder blue inclusion. I don't know to what degree.
Yeah, I was hoping this. Were you?
Yeah, I mean, look, these are great colors to work with. Mm-hmm. That's why, I mean, this is kind of disappointing. Like, this doesn't really look all too different. This, have you seen the meme of, like, the guy that stepped back and they're like, all he did was step backwards? Like, that's kind of what this feels like.
I was trying to discern the difference. They need, we discussed what they need to do. And it's the whole logo on the helmet. That's the problem. Once they fix that little thing, I think everything else will flow until they add powder blue, which should be the most common color on that uniform.
Right. These are so E. Huey says in the Brigade Bar, it's tough to do something with their uniform. They already look generic.
They do.
I love their navy pants, white tops. I think that's the best Texans look. But
I hate the one colored for the most part on any uniform.
Yeah,
I don't like they're all blues. I don't like they're all reds.
No, I agree.
Hey, coming back, but you like silver and black in any kind of variation. That brown and orange I could do without, and I wore that last night and played to it. Spurs go down, but valiant in the effort. We're going to hear from Devin Vassell and Greg Popovich Dims that were involved. Next, hang around with us. This is the Cool Kids Table in the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
Hi, my name is Alani. A little thing I like about the Spicy Deluxe sandwich is that you taste the crunch, you taste the pepper jack cheese melting, and you taste the spicy flavors in the sandwich. I'm telling you, 10 out of
Hi, my name's Enrique. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's Spicy Deluxe sandwich is you get that rich flavor of the chicken and definitely that nice, tangy, warm bite. It's the perfect harmony of spiciness and taste.
Order the Spicy Deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Strong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks tomorrow and Friday. Join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Tomorrow, we're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah. And then Friday, we'll be doing it again live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks Live Oak.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Puro San Antonio football is back at the Alamo Dome. Join the herd and watch your Brahmas in the best seats at the best prices. Single, season, and group tickets are available now. Don't miss any Brahmas action this season, led by legendary head coach Wade Phillips. The Brahmas kick off the season March 31st against the DC Defenders in the Alamo Dome. Let's pack the Dome. Experience the excitement. Head to theufl.com to buy your Brahmas tickets today. That's theufl.com. Vamos Brahmas!
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs lost to the Dallas 7. They did hold Luka Doncic to only 18 points, but that was part of his triple-double. The Spurs were led by Trey Jones, who had 22 points and 9 assists, while Wemby had 12 points, 11 boards, and 6 blocks. March Mania has begun in the first four. Wagner beat Howard, and Colorado State took down Virginia.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Wembenyama goes behind the back here. Oh, little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away by Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. With Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got something to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. He's RJ. I am Rob. Gather with us as we charge forward into a full sporting week and weekend. The mania has begun. We got our first four last night. Get a couple more tomorrow. The party begins. And come play with us as we're going to be out at Twin Peaks. The Blitz will be broadcasting live Thursday and Friday from Twin Peaks. The first round tournament will have all that you require at their Twin Peaks 29-degree cold beer, craft cocktails, food made from scratch in a kitchen very close in proximity to your man cave. Thursday, they're going to be out at Days of Allah. Friday, out at Live Oak. I will be there in spirit and in body to celebrate the mania that is. Come join us. There'll be all kinds of prizes to be had. We bring our swag. You bring your fun. That'll be out at Twin Peaks. So as the first four was going off last night, the Spurs tipped off at our Frost Center in another home game. They wore their delightful brown uniforms and performed much like the brown stain that those uniforms represent to me. Ugly but fierce battle with the Dallas Mavericks. Luka was off, but I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Spurs defense. He did get a triple-double, but he's a ball-dominant dude. But they were beaten by Kyrie. Kyrie just is, he was in his bag last night, and you weren't getting much. You weren't going to stop him.
Good for the Spurs in somewhat limiting Luka. Kyrie is, I think we might look back when Dallas reaches the Western Conference Finals and go, yeah, it's all started when Kyrie got really high.
You think right? that do you think they're capable?
If Kyrie's on that level,
yeah.
I mean, you are a basketball encyclopedia, right? But name or how many people? It's got to be a small list. Are there when they're hot, as hot as Kyrie is?
Oh, I agree. You can't stop Kyrie right now,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, if he, I mean, I know this is about the Spurs, but that's why, like, I feel some solace in this because he's in that zone right now, and I think that basketball media and basketball fans. Then again, the night that Dallas. Again, I'm being really hypothetical and giving them an incredible amount of grace here, but like the night they toppled Denver in the Western Conference Finals or whatever, everyone will look back and say like that started with the Kyrie shot against the Nuggets. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of has that feel. And so to be able to withstand him at his peak right now and Luka just playing incredible basketball, there's a lot to hang or hold your head high about, but at the end of the day, it is still a loss. And that's I mean, I don't know that it's frustrating anymore. It just kind of is what it is. But I do expect this to be the last game against this team where the Spurs aren't competitive for a very, very long time.
And they were competitive last night. You know what I mean?
Competitive in that they can win.
You're right. They brought Dallas down to their level. They mucked it up in a really remarkable way, more than I thought they would. But, our concern was their undoing, the one-on-one defense that you have to play against guys like Kyrie and Luka, and they were half right. And then on the other side of that, you got to hold on to the ball, man. Turnovers killed him. Pop talked about the brutality of dealing with 16 turnovers. Devin Vassell postgame, who was valiant in defeat. I thought he played his toughest game as a Spur this season. Talked about the common theme when they're losing, and there's been a lot of these themes.
Maybe forcing plays, trying to make the spectacular play when really it's just, we just got to make the right read. I think most of our turnovers are usually live ball turnovers. So we're trying to get back in transition instead of it even just going out of bounds. We can set our defense up. It's usually us trying to run back in transition. So it's just tough.
A lot of things have to go right for things to go right. You know what I mean? And sins of commission add up. And he said it. I mean, a lot of our turnovers are happening in live ball situations where they're trying to make the great play instead of just the play. And sometimes that more than once last night, Dallas let them play into their own ineptitude. Just because you're swinging the ball doesn't mean you're doing it right. And last night I thought there was a lot of unnecessary ball swinging. You could take that however you like.
Yeah, I mean, there is a little, sometimes the Spurs take 3 rights when they could have taken a left. You know what I mean? And sometimes making a situation, I wouldn't say more complicated, but just adjusting it in a way that it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's simple. And I think that they're so young and they're so inexperienced that trying to coach them is overwhelming. You know what I mean? Like, you almost kind of have to just let them be green and toss them into the deep end of the pool. But they've been in this deep end for a very long time and they can't seem to salvage themselves. I mean, this is one of the better losses, I suppose, but I mean, it's 6 in one half a dozen in the other. It's just, we continue down this path and it is never not frustrating.
Victor played 32 minutes last night, 12 points, 3 assists, 6
you
rebounds.
You were going to take the over on points.
Yeah, I was 12, 3, and 11.
Told you.
Were his line there. But, he's still, the great thing about Wemby is while the offense wasn't there and while there were 32 minutes, it was about 20 really tired minutes. He looked like he was kind of up against the wall for a lot of it. Post game, Trey, who gets game ball last night, Trey Jones just played really well. Hit very appropriate 3-point shots, distributed 9 assists. I just thought he played as good as he could considering the situation he was dealing with Kyrie, as hot as he was. But he talked about in the post game, while Victor was not extraordinary, his value is so much deeper on a bunch of different levels. Defensively, he matters all the time, and Trey talked about it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think his offensive game affects his defensive game at all. He's always going to come out defensively and play his game defensively. Whether the shot's going in or not, that won't change how he plays the game. He's a super competitive guy. He wants to win more than anybody, and he's going to do everything he can to help us win. If his shot's not going, so be it. He's going to continue to bust his ass on the defensive end, try to get every rebound, every block shot, and offensively, he'll continue to try to make the right play, whether that's scoring, finding guys. He tries to do everything he can to help the team win.
Trey Jones post game, though the Spurs did not, and Wemby didn't have his best game. The defense that they played against the Mavericks might have go down as some of their better defensive efforts. They fought last night, and Wemby wasn't offensive, but defensively he's that presence. And as we wind down to the end of the season, I think there's no debate that he's Rookie of the Year. Those votes are already kind of cast and it's done. But Defensive Player of the Year is one that people are talking about whether he deserves or not for a lot of reasons. The team isn't that good. There's a guy out there that's doing really well in Gobert, but we're getting closer and closer to the finish line as the votes are going to be tallied for the regular season. And there's some guys of note that are starting to fall into the Wemby line, RJ.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you and I have been slower than some people around the station to put some serious steam behind the look. Wemby's Rookie of the Year. There's no question. I mean, I don't even think this is a debate at this point or a talking point. It's just that assumed. But Pledge, I will give a lot of credit to. Pledge has been screaming that Wemby deserves Defensive Player of the Year. There is an argument to be made. And I think that last night is a great example of it. Granted, there was some team-wide defense happening, but if the Spurs can do things like that across the rest of the season, if the team's floor can rise, then it helps his candidacy all the more.
How much should you push for it, though? Because last night, 32 minutes of effort. He wasn't just loafing, but he was obviously not his 100% vibrant self.
I think it's a difficult thing to parse because even at not 100%, his defensive efforts are so swathing. I mean, he's just such a problem. But I will say, and this is the one of the cons to his size. When he's not feeling himself, it takes a long while to turn that whole body around. I mean, and
you're right.
He can be a bit slow, and that can create some problems for the Spurs. I didn't feel like last night was Wemby's best defensive game, but it was kind of the Spurs' best defensive game, if that makes sense. And I feel like we hadn't had those two things happen at the same time ever this season. So the energy matters, but how could he have had full energy, Rob? He was just in Austin having all the fun in the world.
He's coming off spring break. He's got to sweat out some of that cheap beer.
Right, exactly.
Cougs on our brigade bar, as talented as he is, he's still a center trying to cross up a guard.
Right.
Yes, and I'll take a 6 out of 10 from Wemby. A lot of those turnovers are falling directly on what Cougs put there. But and some of those are, Pop is going to overlook. Of the 16 turnovers, I didn't check the line. I think Wemby had 3 or 4. He's going to overlook those because those are Wemby trying to become what they want him to be. And he is going to be crossing guys up. And it works kind of, but it's hard to get used to.
He had 5 of the 16.
See, so. I mean, it's hard to scream turnovers, but it's your guy who has a usage rate of 100% or should be,
Well, Luka had 4 to that point. I mean, you live and die with your superstar, and that's a proper way to live.
And yeah, the way that they're used, you're going to see a few turnovers. But the topic now is finishing strong. Rookie of the year is Defensive Player of the Year in the making. Bill Simmons, Ryen Russillo, Simpson, Bill Simmons. And Ryen Russillo went back and forth regarding Rookie of the Year.
I just think it's important to define that there actually is a line for every single person that's like, no, it's only about winning. It's like, yeah, but there could be a statistical line that would make you go, okay, I can't deny this anymore.
All right, right now they're 23rd net rating defense.
You can net rating the shit out of me. Throw the differentials.
How can you have the Defensive Player of the Year and be 23rd in defense, though? That's
because
ridiculous.
You've watched him, and he impacts the game defensively more than any player in the league right now.
More than Rudy Gobert?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna count the last 6 weeks and not the whole season? You're gonna be that guy? Because Wemby was Wemby was like a deer on ice in some of those games the first 2 months. I think that should count a little bit.
A deer on ice. He wasn't altering any shots whatsoever those
first
2 months.
But I just think he's.
What feed do you have? Who's your?
I just think he's a different guy. I think he's settled in. There's a swagger, and I don't know. He just seems like he's figured it out. I don't know if that means he should be the Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, what makes you the Defensive Player of the Year other than being the best defender in the NBA? That's Bill Simmons and Ryen Russillo talking about it. And I get the fact that this is an all-year award. You have to, and I get the fact that it's hard to represent 1/5 of a defense with total team defense, but it does matter. How good can you be when your team net defensively is 23rd in the league? But subtract him from the team and look at the numbers.
This feels like, by the way, Russillo said in that podcast that he would be voting.
And he should be.
For defensive player. Well, I'm just saying, I mean, he's putting his money where his mouth
Well,
is.
I shouldn't say he should be.
No, but even if, not that you do, but even if you disagree with him, I respect that he has arrived at his opinion. And I think that often in awards like this, so many writers and media members they should have to publicize their votes. It's really my
right.
But so good for Russillo is really what I'm saying. But that's a separate point. I do think it's fair to weigh what's happening recently a little bit heavier. And are we really going to say that, what happened in November is of critical importance? You know what I mean? Like in January, I mean, you know what I mean? Like it feels like we're really reaching. And I understand that this feels a little bit like the star quarterback who got hurt in week 1, and then his team sucks, and you say, well, he's really the most valuable player, right? Because without him, they suck, and with him, they're amazing. So this is somewhat that, but I do think that not giving it to him will look silly in the future because there's going to be so much, fatigue with him that people are going to say, how did he not win it? Like, did we just not give it to him because they were bad? And that's kind of a loose explanation.
I think you hit it on the head. That in hindsight, whenever we look back at his long career and go, the guy who has set the all-time record for blocks in his 3rd career season. I mean, the records that he's going to break, and we'll look back and go, he wasn't defensive player of the year. Who was? And you'll look at the numbers and go, how?
There will be some metric in a season where he does win it. And we'll look back and say, like, he was even better at this and that his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? We'll be like, why did he not win it? There's a little, again, I think you're kidding yourself if you act like there isn't narrative that is a part of this, if there isn't reputation, if there isn't, I suppose, earning your stripes, right? Like, it's a little hard to give it to Wemby as a rookie. And I think sometimes awards voters feel like, oh, well, he's winning Rookie of the Year. So, like, we've already kind of got him on the ballot, and next year he can't win Rookie of the Year. So next year he'll win Defensive Player of the Year. It's a silly way to look at it, but that's kind of how they tend to cast their nets. So good for Ryen Russillo.
And I think he won't be the last. I think there's going to be some others that fall into line. Some of it will be just to be obstinate, just to have another point of view. But I do think objectively, if you just looked at film, stats, and put these guys in a highlight box and pick 25 games, just pick random 25 games and compare the two, I think you would walk away going, while Gobert is a presence in the paint and does matter, Victor plays defense on 3 levels and blocks shots in ways that Gobert never thought of, and defends dribbles and does other things defensively, altering passing lanes that Gobert doesn't. And as Victor learns the pro game, that's going to be more and more apparent how he is fully capable of shutting down a quarter of a basketball court just by standing where he is, just by understanding where he needs to be. And he's not even there yet. But I challenge anybody right now, just grab 20 games where both guys play the same amount of minutes and just judge what they do on the court and how they affect the other team. And I'll put it to you that right now, Wemby affects the game on a more consistent level, on different levels on the court than Gobert ever has. It's done.
If you asked any GM or coach right now, he said, all right, you got to go play defense for 1 game. You can have Victor or Rudy Gobert. Who are you taking? Is there a GM or coach out there who's taking Rudy?
Not one.
I mean, so that's kind of in and of itself. And when it's once you apply the narrative, the team record, the team success, the highlights, and I think some of this too is you can be, an incredible media member in terms of understanding and watching every sector and every second of basketball throughout a season. Ryen Russillo and Bill Simmons, they are those dudes, right? Like they're on League Pass every moment of every day, watching every single thing. But I think the reality for some of the more 30,000 foot voters is that they're not seeing a lot of Wemby. You know what I mean? Like they're just seeing the occasional highlight in their Twitter feed versus, the Timberwolves are getting much more attention. They're being much more talked about. So there are these biases that get baked in because of, availability. And that goes back to team success and our frustration with the team and how they're holding him back. And, the fact that he wasn't an all-star, all those things, all those boxes get checked if you're a better team. So if anything, the team is a factor in all this, but as a handicap to Wemby more than anything else.
Didn't have Zach Collins last night. Late scratch with concussion symptoms. He entered the protocol. He hit his head on Sunday. This has been a rough year for Collins. He just can't stay healthy. He missed games. He had a knee, had an ankle. There's been just when he finds his flow all season long, we miss him for a game. And the late scratch, I think that hurt the Spurs. I think he would have been important, though. At every opportunity, I want to see more and more Dominic Barlow. More Barlow is a good thing because I think that guy, if you look down the bench, and while he's significantly down the bench so far, in fact, that he's spending more time with the Vipers or in Edinburgh with the G League, Austin Spurs, where he should have been. I think he's a long-term prospect, and I appreciate his bounce. And him and Lively going at it last night was an interesting watch. But we missed Collins last night, and I think he would have mattered in that kind of bang-up, ugly game where you need physicality. I think they missed that, and that might have been a difference maker. So the first time I can say all season long that Collins, we missed you last night.
Hope all's well, Zach.
Trey Jones.
Apologies.
I'll send it to him. A heck of a game last night. He really did. He leveled up. He played the hottest point guard in the league last night and acquitted himself well. His jumper was flowing. He took the right shots, and he made sure Wemby had the ball when he needed it. Now, Wemby didn't do himself any favors, turning the ball over. And if I don't want to go off on anything, if I'm Coach Pop, every time that Wemby grabs a rebound in the paint and kicks it out for a three, what should the punishment be? What would you do to your superstar every time he passed up a shot in the paint?
He has to watch an episode from the final season of Game of Thrones.
Maybe that's it. Maybe he has to watch the next to last Game of Thrones without knowing anything about what's going on.
Or the How I Met Your Mother finale.
Maybe that's it. No. Because he would be no more lost than he is standing in the paint, throwing it to somebody else to shoot from further away. I know that sounds basic, but come on, Vic.
He's got to get a lot more selfish. That's his biggest flaw right now. You've got to get selfish, dude. I mean, respect for real, truly. But it's enough. I mean, you should have 40 points a game, man. Like with your ability to just tip back in. There's no reason. And if you have, I don't know, prime Klay Thompson out there, okay, right? Like we can talk and we can rationalize why you're doing this. But and I love Trey Jones, but you're dishing the ball out to Trey Jones. I mean, laws of probability here. I mean, this is not the best usage of that moment in time.
The Spurs are 15-54. This was we're in the midst where we're rounding out the longest homestand of any NBA team this year.
Baby. All the games at home.
Going to welcome the Grizz in on Friday, the Suns in on Saturday, and one of those weird spend the weekend staycation. The Suns will stay here, and we'll get them on Monday as well, and then they hit the road again, going to Utah. What were we thinking in this homestand? What were we hoping for? We're not going to get it. In a lot of ways, this has been a bit of a letdown. I thought these games last night, the Suns, the Grizz, would be the games where everybody is kind of rounded into form. The offense was clicking, that we would see the very best, and then we'd start to wind this season down. But we didn't get that, though. Last night, we almost got it. It would have been ugly, but it would have been a W. The Suns are a team that they need to find their way. I'm worried about playing the Suns in back-to-back because this is a bunch of vets getting ready for playoffs.
I agree, but I could see the first one just being like, it's a Saturday night. You know what I mean? I could see the Spurs showing up and showing out and getting a big, legitimate home win and then falling completely flat and just get smoked on Monday. I mean, it kind of has that vibe. You know what I mean? They don't have the resolve to handle a big-time team with big-time veterans, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not back-to-back days, but in back-to-back games. That's, the Suns will kind of play with their food a little bit on Saturday night, and they'll give the Spurs a nice moment, and they'll come in the building on Monday and just.
Well, the good news is the next team we see, the Grizzlies, are god-awful. They are headed south. They have lost 3 straight. The Kings handed it to them when last they played in overtime. Tonight they have the Warriors, which might help them kind of bounce off the snide because the Warriors, it's over for them, man.
Best of luck.
Yeah, fare thee well. This season is all but done. The Grizzlies coming to town. I do expect, and probably maybe a split against the Suns. Maybe we'll get a last hurrah as the Suns or the Spurs round out this long home run. But I really feel like the 32 minutes of effective but not effective basketball for Victor Wembanyama is kind of a signal that we really are rounding in. I'd like to see him get a couple of good defensive games, a couple of good, 4 or 5 blocks, highlight type things, and let's start to look toward next year and hope he's got enough in the bank to maybe sneak through a defensive player of the year. Would you push through, last couple of games if you felt like it was something worthy? If Victor wanted it, like, hey man, let me play through these 82. Let me get 73, 4 games under my belt, and if I could pull out 4 or 5 blocks there at the end, kind of like
if you had a legitimate chance, then yes. But like for a lottery ticket chance, it's not worth it. I mean, he had the scary ankle moment last night. You know what I'm saying? Like every moment you're a breath away from all the muck that we've been going through not being worth it.
Which, by the way, I'm glad you brought up that scary Luka.
Oh, dude, he hooked him.
We're looking at the injury, the replay 3 consecutive times. Sean was like, he hooked him. And then again, he hooked him. No, it was completely obvious and so evident. Stars have their privilege. Even though it was Wemby, Luka was allowed to wrap that arm around and not a second look given.
He'll get there himself, but last night he didn't have the credentials to draw a call.
Yeah, that was one of those moments where you go, ooh, and then they replayed it, and you're like, that could be an ankle, could be a knee, could be both. Maybe we should go rest. Maybe we should sit it down. As we talk about winding down and getting ready for the Olympics, Team USA, they've already released their schedule for the Paris Olympics. We forget what a big deal the Team USA can be in Paris. We're going to be sending our best this year. It's not like they're going to Beijing.
Right. No, they're going to have a good time. There's no question about it.
And we'll be getting a chance to see a couple of those guys as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant will be in town directly. The Grizzlies next. Can the Spurs close out the win streak? We'll keep you aware as we do it every day. It is Talking Silver and Black. Make sure you're subscribed to such things. That's why it lands in your inbox or you are aware of it when it's being done all the time. Coming back, them Cowboys continue to disappoint. And yesterday, the crop got thinner. We waved goodbye to a dude that mattered. This was one of those free agent defensive linemen that the Cowboys found that mattered. He went to Seattle. We'll talk about that and other stuff Cowboy-esque just around the corner. We're glad you're with us. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Do you want the most money for your used car and a hassle-free process? Give Me the VIN. We'll beat your written CarMax offer or write you a check for $100. It's that simple. Give Me the VIN is fast, easy, reliable, and pays top dollar for your car. It's that simple. Give Me the VIN is A+ rated by the BBB. Get an instant cash offer and the most money for your used car right now at GiveMeTheVIN.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Puro San Antonio football is back at the Alamo Dome. Join the herd and watch your Brahmas in the best seats at the best prices. Single, season, and group tickets are available now. Don't miss any Brahmas action this season, led by legendary head coach Wade Phillips. The Brahmas kick off the season March 31st against the DC Defenders in the Alamo Dome. Let's pack the Dome. Experience the excitement. Head to theufl.com to buy your Brahmas tickets today. That's theufl.com. Vamos, Brahmas!
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever and name your price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin ultra soft on the potty, let's supposed to roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The crib is always stocked. It's our party vice. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
We're in the studio right now with Jose Rios from the Gomez Law Firm. Jose, tell us a little about Gomez Law.
Number one priority is to let the people know that we are a law firm that's been part of this community for almost 50 years. You know, Mr. Gomez, he's been a practicing attorney here since 1973. He's born and raised here in San Antonio, done nothing but help out personal injury victims for almost half a century. It's very important that we get that out to the San Antonio community because a lot of these attorneys like to come in here and act like they're from here, but you know, they're all out-of-towners. They don't know what goes on here. They really don't know.
If you have been injured in an accident, injured at work, or hit by a company vehicle, don't take on the big insurance companies by yourself. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere. And remember, Gomez Law fights.
If you have been injured in an accident, injured at work, or hit by a company vehicle, the first place you need to go is JoeGomezLaw.com.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Tomorrow and Friday, join us for a full-court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's tomorrow. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at De Zavala. And then Friday, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Reinagle here. The Spurs took on the Mavs last night. We're going to react to all of that. Plus, we got a couple of teams in the big dance. They earned their ticket last night. But it's all about the Cowboys, right? What in the world is Jerry Jones and company doing? Is the sky falling, or do we have a point? And RJ, you're not going to believe this, buddy. I actually agree with you on some of this stuff.
I don't know if that's a case of great minds or ignorance is bliss. Probably a little both. That's Joe. He's talking about the Cowboys, as are we. That is RJ Ochoa. He manages the editing of Blogging the Boys. I'm Rob Thompson on the other side. Now, in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to have Ernie Johnson, the great EJ, join RJ. Yet again, I couldn't be there for an interview. They late in that schedule, and I had a tooth that needed to be attended to. And you had a great conversation with Ernie. He is coming in just a couple of minutes as he's about to assume double duty and command the basketball world as the TBS crew join in the March Madness coverage. He'll be here in just a couple of minutes. Yesterday, the Cowboys lost yet another. Jonathan Hankins, the free agent pickup, that played a pretty vital role when completely healthy for the Cowboys down the defensive line. He is following Aiden Durde up to Seattle.
It's really difficult to understand
Yeah, this is a surprise. This is one of those nuts and bolts kind of losses where I thought that was a given. They'd try to re-sign him.
People forget he was a trade a week before the deadline in 2022.
Raider? Where did we get him from?
Yeah, he was a Raider, and they traded for him a week before the deadline. Then they got killed at the deadline for not doing anything. And I will say I defended them. I said, hey, they made a trade last week. He was a free agent last year. They brought him back on a 1-year deal. And in a perfect world, you wouldn't need him because Mozzie Smith would have developed as a rookie, but he didn't. So now you're really counting on Mozzie, and that doesn't necessarily feel like something that you should be doing. I thought of something yesterday, Rob, that I want to ask you, if you don't mind.
I'm all ears.
So there's a group of people. Sometimes you belong to this, sometimes you don't. Just kind of depends on the mood we're all in. But we agree that there's a group of people who feel like, don't worry, the Cowboys never do anything in free agency. They still win 12 games, right? These people say this. They don't have to be active in free agency. It's not a big deal. They'll find a way, whatever, blah, blah. Okay. If they are so good that they can find a way without participating at all in free agency, something has to be propelling the winning. Something has to be the reason for which they have won 12 games in a row, or 12 games in each of the last 3 seasons in a row, been a playoff team each of those, have 2 division titles, right? Like all the things that people have decided as reasons why they don't have to participate in free agency. Something has to be the driving force. It would stand to reason that it would be the 2 most important people relative to the football team, the quarterback and the head coach. So if that were the case, wouldn't those 2 people have long-term contracts that tie them to the team for the future, that see them commensurated properly, because they are clearly so good at their jobs that the Cowboys don't have to participate in free agency?
Well, keep in mind that DC also is only on a 1-year deal. You're operating on the assumption that the attempt is to win.
No, but something is the reason for all of their winning, and it's clearly not free agency, right?
No,
so what is it?
They have. Well, first of all, what's the axiom that losing has 1,000 contributors? They play in a lousy division, so they've had the opportunity to not have to beat up on a lot of teams. So they get to fall ass backwards into the playoffs, and they get 6 wins just because of the team that they get to play. The teams they get to play, 2 of which are always awful. They have been moderately successful offensively because of scheme and because of talent. So they've been able to outscore some teams. The driving force has been they do have talent, and some of the talent still there is still good enough.
Okay,
better
but
than
the
most.
talent would seemingly be some combination of Dak, Ceedee, Micah, McCarthy, right? Like on a given game. So none of them have deals. None of them.
Right.
You know
Again, you're operating as if the assumption is that as in the past, they want to win. There's no attempt to win here.
This is the most incompetent that I have ever seen a NFL team operate. I truly am amazed at the wide-ranging level of incompetence. And I mean, they are so confident in their abilities to draft. A year after completely missing on all of their draft picks, their greatest draft or rookie last year was an undrafted free agent kicker who was playing soccer in college. I mean, and happened to have literally the greatest kicking season of all time. And so I am astounded that they are moving forward in this direction.
We're going to have Ernie Johnson in just a second, and we're going to have to get away because I want to make sure you get all of this. But I want to continue with this because with every passing day, you get more and more angry. Because you keep expecting them to do something. And I'm trying to figure out why you keep expecting them to do something. I'm going to talk about it because, I mean, when are we all going to follow what they do or don't do as opposed to what they say?
Nothing they're doing, though, Rob, points in one direction. I would agree with you if you could say, like, it clearly suggests they're doing this.
They are purging salary at a rapid pace. They're not signing
They're not
anybody.
purging salary.
Well, I mean, they're not paying Hankins. They're going to pay the rock bottom minimum for anybody who walks in the door after the June 1 cuts. They're going to pay rookie money. They're obviously trying to cut payroll. I don't know whether they're trying to get rid of their quarterback or not. They haven't made a point, but they're not doing anything to keep him around. It just appears to me that this is a slow burn, that this is, and I don't know why everybody stays mad at this. Just accept the fact that winning isn't the plan.
It has never been the plan. I mean, I think that's a lot
you can't say that with 12.
No, it is part of the plan, but it is not the plan.
Well, it's certainly not now.
Yesterday, the dates for the ACM awards that are going to be held at the Star were announced. That's the plan, right there. We've had more events.
Forgive me, when you said ACM, I couldn't put it. The American Country Music Awards. Is that what you're talking about?
They're going to be held at the Star. I believe they've been held at AT&T Stadium before, but the Cowboys have had more events at properties they oversee announced this offseason than they have external free agent signings.
Well, we'll continue. I had no idea. Good for them. Maybe that's the whole reason for the denim jacket. Steven will get to wear it again. Hey, coming back, Ernie Johnson of basketball fame will join RJ Ochoa as we get ready for the madness that is March. Hold on. This is a good interview. You're going to enjoy what he has to say about Victor Wembanyama and how you get to say that stuff. Hold on. He's coming next. This is the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, the Spurs. They had the Dallas Mavericks in town last night. We're going to react to that. Plus, we got two teams that are in the big dance.
But, it's really all about the Dallas Cowboys. We know the sky is falling in Cowboys Nation. Is it because Cowboy fans have zero faith in the front office? We'll dive into that on the Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-452-5050. That's 1-800-452-5050.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets, the bus wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game... Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut in San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE. That's 656-7873. Or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Want to see the dedication and discipline it takes to become a world champion boxer? Witness 21-1 world-ranked Gio Cabrera, trained by the legendary Freddie Roach, who's worked with the likes of champion Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, and Julio Cesar Chavez. Come to training, exhibition, and fan experience at Smoke, Texas and Sky Bar, located at 501 East Crockett in downtown San Antonio. Free to the public. Thursday, March 28th, starting at 5 p.m. Go to dnpboxing.com. Brought to you by Everlast, Quintana Rum, and Desi Martinez Promotions.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Don't keep you from. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
San Antonio's sports star. You're riding with Rob and RJ. This is the Morning Huddle.
Back here on the Morning Huddle, my name is RJ Ochoa. It is March. The madness is here, and we have brought the very best, the most professional, the dashing, the debonair, the internationally famous. It is the one and only Ernie Johnson. Ernie, thank you so much for joining us here on 94.1.
RJ, thanks, man. Good talking to you. How's everything in San Antonio these days?
It's all great. Victor Wembanyama is the talk of the town. I might as well start here. You have seen a lot of basketball in your day, a lot of basketball players. Your thoughts on Wemby, you've given them, but to us specifically, what are your thoughts as his rookie season winds down?
No, man, I'm very impressed. I was impressed at the start, and I'm impressed with his staying power. Here late in the year to be putting up the kind of numbers he's been putting up. That game he had the other night with, it must have been 30, 15, 7 and 7 blocks was just ridiculous. I'm with Pop. That he says we're going to be seeing things out of this kid you've never seen before. We already are, and so he's very impressive. And I love his poise. He joined us on All-Star Weekend, and was just a delight to be around, man. So. The league is lucky to have him, a kid with poise and a future that's just ridiculous.
You mentioned the numbers. We like to call the new 5x5 thing that had never happened before. That's just a Wemby. If you guys want to go with that, that's up to y'all. Because
I'll use it. I'll steal it, and I'll give you credit.
That's by all means. Because when it's all said and done, he's going to have a million of these things. You mentioned All-Star Weekend, obviously, and you guys did such a great job with him and in general. It was around then that the conversation was percolating around who could be the future face of the NBA. You mentioned Wemby's poise. He's obviously an incredibly mature young man. Do you think he has that potential? Obviously, so people talk about the Spurs and so many different lights, but does Victor have the chance to be a legitimate face and power driver for the association as a whole?
Oh, without question. And because part of that is personality too. So he's got all these skills and he's got personality. He's just 20 years old. I mean, come on, I don't even want to think about what I was doing when I was 20 years old, and I certainly didn't want to do it on a world stage. So certainly he can. And what helps that is if your team is winning, so if his skills translate into San Antonio returning to the kind of dominance it once enjoyed, then he can't help but be the face. So yeah, that can certainly happen.
You're speaking our language. We were talking to the great Ernie Johnson here on 94.1, San Antonio sports star. Ernie, that we love our basketball in San Antonio, not just the Spurs, of course, the collegiate level as well. Lots of Final Fours, upcoming one. I know we're excited to see you soon enough. What are your thoughts as we get set to kind of start the tournament in earnest here this week? It feels a little bit more chaotic than usual, but again, we're fascinated to hear what you have to say.
Hey, we love chaos this time of year, don't we? I mean, that's what makes the tournament so special. And look, it's always been one of my favorite things, not just to watch, but to cover. We've had for over a dozen years, we've been teaming up with CBS, and bringing the tournament to folks. So the unpredictability is what's great. And I think the real charm of the tournament, how it brings folks together, how it shrinks the world a little bit. Even if you're not a big basketball fan, you got a bracket you're filling out, and all of a sudden you're a big fan of James Madison. It's so I love that aspect of it. And another aspect, and this is what's kind of gone into you and I talking today. Folks at Buffalo Wild Wings got a hold of me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in being part of this promotion that we've got, this Beat the Buffalo?" And give me details. And so they got this Buffalo named Jack, who stands out in the field, and they put team names behind him, and whichever direction he looks, that's his pick. And so he did a men's bracket and a women's bracket. And the thing about it, it's not just that, it's that excuse me, folks like you and anybody else out there can enter their bracket, and if you beat Jack the Buffalo, you got a chance to go to the Final Four next year, men's or women's, and win a year's supply of wings. So that's what's at stake in this tournament. And I don't know if you've seen the video we put out, but it's interesting. It's interesting that he has McNeese winning the whole thing. I think that's a unique take, although McNeese, could surprise somebody and win a game or two. But I think that's, and what I loved about, I think he had me in mind when he picked Yale to beat Auburn in their opener. because if that happens, we're on the air in New York doing the studio show. There will be some good fodder that I can torture Charles with. But yeah, it was fun to watch. And look, it's a fun time of year. And everybody's got a bracket, and everybody's got reasons that they pick teams that they do, just like Jack does. And Jack, when he did the women's bracket, he had number one seeds get knocked out automatically. And had the Colorado Buffaloes winning, which is not surprising for a Buffalo.
Yeah, no bias.
No, exactly.
The great Ernie Johnson, once again with us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I actually, Ernie, got in with this station by winning a contest myself, and I this is no joke, won a year's supply worth of wings. Now, we don't have to discuss where they were from.
On, really?
They weren't, again, I won't let you know where they were from, but it really was a year's supply of wings, and it's turned into a great career for me, and I'm really grateful to God for that. But in a sense, that's a little bit of what this time of year kind of is all about. I mean, why can't it be McNeese? Why can't Jack be the first person to have the perfect bracket? I mean, this is Kate McAllister said it in Home Alone. This is truly the season of perpetual hope, and that's what people love so much about the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, without question, man. It's such a fun time, and I think. Again, to the point of just it brings the fringe fan in there too. Yeah, you can be a diehard college basketball fan, but you know what? Your bracket may lose out to an office mate who doesn't know if the ball's blowing up or stuff. But that's the way it goes. And so it's a great time of year. Can't wait to see how it plays out. I can't wait to see if anybody is able. Because see what I think. I think if UConn trots the same guys out every night, going to be very, very difficult to beat UConn in this tournament. But I think that's why they play them, man. And if I have to, before you even ask, do you have a sleeper? Samford's going to the Sweet 16. Okay.
That's a popular pick, but enough, hipster enough to where you're kind of in on the cool crowd, Ernie. So the incredible Ernie Johnson with us here. Who would have thought you and me, Ernie, we'd be here breaking bread, talking about wings and Jack the Buffalo and all sorts of stuff. As you leave, how many titles does Victor win when it's all said and done?
Oh, that's a really tough question. I'll give him at least one.
Okay, we'll take it for now.
At least one. At least one. That's a really hard question, but I think he has the stuff to lead a team there.
That's very well said. Ernie Johnson, enjoy the tournament. We will be watching, and we will go where you take us. We appreciate it as always. Have a great call and have a lot of fun.
Appreciate you. Thanks, man.
The great Ernie Johnson now doing college hoops as the Buffalo Wild Wing contest goes and the hoops begin. Ernie Johnson will be front and center as he is always. You'll find him somewhere deep on that True TV channel. Hey, we're talking college hoops. The first four has begun. The Spurs go down. The Grizzlies are coming. And the first four coming up next. This is 94.1. You're on San Antonio Sports Star. I want to talk to you real quick about your health. How you feeling today? Did you wake up in generally functioning good health? If you did, well, keep it to yourself and keep up the good work. If you're like most of us, though, you woke up just ready to try to fight the day, already kind of behind the 8 ball, already tired, already looking for caffeine, chasing that sugar just to get yourself going, and it doesn't get any better from here. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's probably because you're overweight. You lose a little bit of weight, it's amazing how the energy picks up. And so many of us think we can't lose weight because we haven't really learned how to. Or some of us have tried to lose weight and can't because there's an underlying issue that won't allow us to drop the pounds we need. That's why Dr. Jacob Torres and the Institute for Functional Health have been so successful for so many people because they understand the struggle that so many of us has. They apply medical science to the weight loss, go digging for any reasons why you can. It might be a hormone imbalance. It might be a syndrome or two that is keeping you from doing that. They work with that, and you put together a program you can lose weight, nearly 80 pounds. Continue to lose. I'm with them for 8 years now. I want that for you. I want you to call Dr. Torres and get on a program that you can live with for a long time, like me. Go by their great offices down there on McCullough or call them today. The number 210-468-1891. The website's iffhealth.com. Look, if it's time for you to lose weight, if you resolve to do it, there's no better partner, there's no better place to go than the Institute for Functional Health. Get to know Dr. Torres. He will make your life better. Call him today. I know you're going to thank me later.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Satan, are you there?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you did the Metallica backwards lyrics.
Yeah.
Did you do Missy's backwards lyrics?
She and I were talking, just hanging, keeping it real.
Keeping it real, huh?
I said, you should put a backwards message in there. And she asked me, is that really going to work? I said, show.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, you. Tri-Tip, they've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Tomorrow and Friday, join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's tomorrow. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah. And then Friday, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the all-new Vokey SM10 wedges. Made for lower flight, improved feel, and maximum spin. Unlock your ultimate wedge. Play with the new Vokey SM10 wedges. Visit us in store at Edwin Watts Golf Shops or online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The San Antonio Spurs went down to the Dallas Mavericks last night, 113-107. Spurs held Luka to 18. Unfortunately, that 18 was part of a triple-double. Trey Jones, paced the Spurs with 22 points and 9 assists. In college hoops, the madness is underway. Wagner held off Howard 71-68. They did it with only 7 guys. Virginia forgot to show up. Colorado State handed it to them as Virginia.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
How good you want to be? From play 1 to the last play, we fighting. Today's about opportunity and character. We got a chance to come out here and play football. It's a blessing. Hey, every season is full of defining moments. Let's make this day a defining moment for us in our quest. Let's go, baby.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here are the guys.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Joe will tell you later, but we'll say it now. It's hump day, baby. We're halfway home, halfway through the middle of the week. It's time to start pointing toward the weekend. We almost there. The tournament begins in earnest tomorrow. We had first 4 last night. We'll have 2 more tonight and start in earnest tomorrow. Don't forget the Blitz will be live starting at 2, going through 7. We'll all be out there partying at the Twin Peaks at Days of Allah for our annual tournament takeover. I'm excited. Can't wait to be out there tomorrow. Aggies play Friday in the Battle of Nebraska. It's Texas A&M versus all of Nebraska this week as both the men and the women, by a quirk of scheduling, with this is just a coinkydink beyond belief. Not only do the men and women both play Nebraska in their respective tournaments, but Texas A&M just hired their former athletic director. Should be an interesting couple of days up there. Let's talk some NFL real quick. There have been some significant signings over the last 24 hours, and as bad as the Cowboys have handled it in RJ Ochoa's eyes, well, how do you grade the New York Jets? They got Tyron. They've signed, it seems like everything they needed, at least by prescription. They went and got at least a Band-Aid for everything that was a problem last year.
I think that the Jets are in their own box of chaos, right? There's no question about it. But they're kind of stuck, right? Like they're just kind of along for this ride. They're at the party. The ride's not coming for a few hours. They're like, all right, what's in the cooler? You know what I mean? Like, might as well. You know what I mean? Let's get weird. You know, you got some weird juice or whatever. You got some of that jungle juice, that homemade stuff. All right, cool.
Well, do you think what they're doing is appropriate? I think they're doing exactly what they should be doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they can't. Like, Aaron Rodgers has just. I mean, the experience has to have been just exhausting if you're a Jets fan, right? I mean, you haven't even seen the guy play.
They're loving every minute of it.
Well, you've gotten all of the bad and, you know, quite frankly, none of the good, if there even is still good to find. But they're pot committed at this point. And there is something to a sunk fallacy cost, or sunk cost fallacy to where, you know, there's no necessary, you know, no need in running it back, but you kind of have to right now. So I respect that they're loading up. They're saying, all right, you know what, Cowboys, you don't want Tyron Smith? Fine. Chargers, you don't want Mike Williams? Fine. We're going to try. We're already here. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, it goes back to why teams are so scared to do certain things, because they feel like, oh, no, we can't fail. Why? What's the worst that could happen? You don't win the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? The Jets are like, what's the worst that could happen here? Like, it flames out in super embarrassing fashion. Sign us up. You know what I mean? We're well accustomed to that lifestyle. You can't throw anything at us that we haven't seen before. So I'm a fan of what the Jets have done, unfortunately.
I think the irony of you bringing up the sunk cost fallacy with the Jets is perfect when we think of the Cowboys and at what point is good money after bad money? Is it time to end? But that's for another conversation. Mike Williams is a new Jet. That's a good get. I think everything they did is a good get. They get a wide receiver to get on the other side of Garrett. Okay, they needed that. Obviously, that line needed some help, so they went and plugged holes with, older pieces, but they did go do exactly that. Pretty impressed. Another tackle signed yesterday with the Bengals. Was it Brown?
Trent Brown, yeah. He was the last legitimate free agent tackle left on the market. And so now, not to make this about the Cowboys, but if they were planning on signing someone to be their starting left tackle in Tyron Smith's absence, you really kind of have no real options at this point in time. So it's either going to be Tyler Smith or a draft pick, although I would bet on the former.
I forget which one that is. The draft pick? That's the former. Which one is the latter?
The former is Tyler. The latter is the draft
pick. I'm always confused. The former is the first one you said, or is that the latter?
The former is the first, and the latter is the most recent.
I never quite have been able to nail that down.
Well, we just taught you that. Former is generally it's an expression with regards to two things.
Right.
So the former will be the first. So just think F is for first.
You're a busy man. Not only are you often busy with me in the morning on the show, but you have the editing of the blogging The Voice. And it's a frequent stop for most everybody that listens to the show. And as I was going through the website over the last couple of days and keeping up, there's one particular writer, Dan Rogers, who is fundamentally on the other side of the fence than you.
Yeah, Danny Phantom is what he goes by, although Dan Rogers is his I don't know what his social security card says or anything like that, but Danny is, got a lemonade stand of Kool-Aid right now.
Well,
Danny is passing it out.
But you can't dispose or take away everything that he has said. He is not absolutely wrong, as you are not absolutely right. And I can't understand how the two of you guys can exist under the same umbrella, because everything you see that is awful and terrible, he goes, well, there's this, though. Well, there's that.
We all have opinions about everything in life. And I would offer, at least in my experience this offseason, Danny is in the minority when it comes to most Dallas Cowboys fans. That doesn't mean that that's the incorrect side to be on here.
Buy into us.
Danny, thank you, Mike. Danny has noted that the Cowboys obviously have had success at doing things this way in the past. But my problem with that is, okay, if that's true, then why is the quarterback not under a long-term contract?
I want to go down the list.
Okay,
so offensive line. And now you and many others
are starters.
Highly, highly upset with the loss of Tyron. And yes, we know the history. And Tyler Biadasz,
it's important to contextualize, because the Tyron loss, and this is really the case for everything. Like in a vacuum, the Tyron loss or the Biadasz loss or the Jonathan Hankins loss, in a vacuum, these things are not, devastating to the team. But in an overall sense, it's because you're not bringing in anything new. So you only have, in terms of the NFL, your day one starters, as far as draft picks are concerned, are generally really only your first and second round pick. Sometimes your third round pick, obviously, you hit out the mark, and it goes without saying that there are exceptions to this rule. But your top 100 picks, that's your first three selections in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're telling me that you're going to find a starting left tackle or a starting left guard, and a starting center, and a starting linebacker, and a starting running back, and another wide receiver.
Well, okay, but it sounds like a lot. But if you go,
if you hit on every,
right. But every team is dealing with this, RJ. Everybody has to hope. Yes, I'm just trying to get past that. There's this fundamental sides on this Cowboy thing that you're having to choose whether it's awful or average, but there's no good to be found. But when Biotish was there, we all went, who? What? This guy? Okay, badass. We all like his nickname. Why is Hoffman any different than Biotish? In fact, they like Hoffman more than they liked Biotish when they had Biotish.
They didn't like him more, and they like him now because he's the only option.
But that was before. But even before Biotish was down, we were seeing Hoffman's name knocked around. They knew that he was the future, so it's here.
Again, the problem isn't the individual moves.
But what I'm saying is we can. You're right. There's a lot of little things, but there's also a lot of little good things. Like people go linebacker. DeMarvin Overshown. Let's look back. Overshown had a good camp, and we thought, oh my goodness, they found something here. And then he got hurt.
Bank on the linebacker who's coming off of a torn ACL, who's never played an NFL game, and who is of the mold that they're trying to get away from, in that he's a converted safety. He played safety at the University of Texas.
And they went and got a linebacker too.
Okay, so the reality here is that Eric Kendricks is supposed to save this team. Again,
see, you go drastic again. All I'm saying, with all these different things that you're mad at, it's individually not as bad as you portray it individually. So when you go, it's awful on everything, when you pull this whole stew together, well, it's been an utter collapse. Well, it hasn't been. There is a lineman that they have focused on.
Awful.
They do have I'm not saying it is great, but I don't think you're painting a picture that is so awful that this is a 2-win team. This is still a talented football
they're a 2-win team. You're the one jumping to the other end of the spectrum.
No, I was trying to find where the middle is.
They are in the middle. That's the frustrating part here. All right. I mean, they are stuck in the middle, and they refuse to move around from that spot. They will probably, in all likelihood, win. I'm not telling you that this team is going to win 3 games or anything like that, but they're going to hover. If you told me their over-under was 9.5, I would really struggle to take the over at this point in time. I would definitely take the under on 10.5 because they have a first-place schedule. Mm-hmm. They play the AFC North.
Right.
They play, again, the Detroit Lions as a result of obviously, everything involved here. The Eagles got better. The Commanders got better. The Giants got better. You talked earlier about the easy divisional games that they've had in the past. Those are no longer easy divisional games. And so they will stumble their way to 7-8 wins, and then they'll be stuck again because they'll say, you know what, Mike McCarthy didn't get the job done. We're going to move on from him. Dak Prescott didn't get the job done. We're going to move on from him. And whether you're Team Dak or Team McCarthy or whatever, they're not being given a fair shake, especially when they're the dudes who are being tasked with carrying this whole bunch that doesn't get an infusion of help throughout free agency. No one is saying you have to go spend $200 million in free agency, but it is not a ridiculous ask. In fact, it's a completely normal ask to say supplement the losses that you've had with would-be free agent roster signings, the Jonathan Hankinses of the world. They have one external free agent signing.
Right.
One. I mean, it's not only not practical, it's not living in realities to suggest that of their draft picks, they can fill all of these holes. Yes, they can in a numerical sense, in a tangible sense, right? They can literally replace these players with dudes wearing jerseys on the depth chart. But they are painting themselves into a corner to where the draft class now has to hit an overwhelming fashion in a way that generally does not happen across the NFL. And it did not have to be this way. They purposefully, they are Roy McAvoy and Tim Cup just hitting ball after ball after ball after ball. And it's like, dude, go lay up. I mean, go take the drop, go make par, go win in the playoff. But their priority is not winning. Their priority is being relevant. And they are relishing in all of the attention that they are getting as a result of all of this.
I agree with that last statement. And I also agree with something you said that I don't think is getting enough credit. That, we're talking about Jerry and, all in and what that means to whomever. But if you're Dak and if you're McCarthy, you're getting nothing. I mean, there's not a reason to get up and go to work. I mean, you're getting nothing, nothing at all. No reason, no new. It's worse. Your contract's expiring.
Look at Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn gets to Washington, and it's like, all right, buddy, what do you want? We'll go shopping for you give us your wish list, right? And he gets all the linebackers. He gets all his former friends in Dallas. He gets Bobby Wagner. You know what I mean? Like it, and no one again is saying that the Cowboys should just go wild and go crazy in free agency. But Rob, the entire football collective world, for the most part, entire is obviously not literally accurate because you do have your Danny Phantoms. But for the most part, 31 of 32 NFL teams, hundreds, if not thousands of NFL analysts, millions of fans with access to all sorts of resources and information completely disagree with this line of thought relative to the context of who they are and their positioning relative to this season. And somehow, some way, we're all supposed to just trust. It's all going to work out. And they know, because it's happened time after time again, that the battle of attrition will win. And we will all get worn down. And we will all ultimately cope ourselves into oblivion and tell ourselves around July when they're flying out to Oxnard that this will be the year. They know that they don't have to do anything, that we are so desperate for them that we always show up, that we will ultimately convince ourselves that what they did was the right path of thinking.
Buy into us.
Kick rocks.
They're just looking for that title that they already deserve. They're going to find it. But I do say, if you'll go down and look at the individual position arguments, you go, well, what about tackle? What about center? What about wide receiver? What about linebacker? Might not be a great answer, but there is an answer in there. And there is. And whether it's overshown or overthought, there is something in there where you go, well, wide receiver, they cut Gallup, but Tolbert might actually be there. We did see something, and Cooks is still there. So, okay. Linebacker,
they got. Rob? It's your team. And I say, okay, Rob, I'm your GM. You're the head coach. You're the offensive play caller. Would you rather have Jalen Tolbert or Mike Williams?
I would far rather have Mike Williams.
Right. So why not raise the floor? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible to do this? Is it possible to win this way?
My answer to that is, if my intent is to go get a Super Bowl with everything else there. My intent is to go get a Super Bowl if I'm Jerry, but it ain't with the guys that are currently here or their coaches. I mean, he's going to do just enough to get everybody gone, and then everybody going to be gone.
Well, you know what? They're really going to F around and find out.
Oh, they are.
I mean,
it's going to get miserable.
If they really think that they're better off without Dak, and even, look, I've really soured on McCarthy. But McCarthy, regardless of how much I or anybody else has soured on him, is still one of the best people in that building, especially with the mass exodus that we've seen. So, I mean, the fact that they are just leaving their, most loyal soldiers out on the battlefield by themselves with no ammunition whatsoever is not only, inefficient and wrong, it's cruel. You know what I mean? It's cruel. Who would want to play for this team? Who would sign up for this? Because when they fail in the middle of October on the morning after Halloween, people won't come in and say, oh, you know what? The Cowboys, Jerry and Steven, they really screwed up by not doing anything in free agency. They'll be like, I can't believe that McCarthy made that call. I can't believe Dak threw that interception. They know that they have all the cover in the world. They just have to go on their yachts, go down to Belize or whatever for these few months and survive. And then come the fall, everything will sort itself out.
Coming back, Luka got a triple-double, but it was an ugly one. The Mavericks squeaked by. Thoughts on a Spurs loss that was really valiant at the end. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I hope you've got your BetUS.com account set up. The mania is here. It started last night. How'd that Wagner call hit? If you haven't gone to BetUS.com, then you probably haven't taken advantage. Well, not probably, definitely have not taken advantage of the 125% sign-up bonus that you'll get 3 times at BetUS.com. Not your first deposit, but your first 3. If you're bringing crypto, up to 200% of a sign-up bonus for you brand new account members, and there's always a 10% gambler's protection bonus available to you at BetUS.com. People ask me, why BetUS.com? The honest answer is I don't know any better. I have only endorsed BetUS.com. That's all I've ever done, and I've always been happy. They are here for you. They've been around here for 30 years. It's tournament time. Get yourself signed up. You can do it 2 ways. Call them 1-800-MY-BET-US or go to BetUS.com. Transfer that money in. Start playing with theirs. The mania is here. And while you're there, play the casino games because they got those too. 1-800-MY-BET-US, BetUS.com, 125% sign-up bonus. Get it today. Thank me later.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Joe Reinagle here. I want to tell you about something that has completely changed my life. I had vision correction surgery at Parkhurst New Vision. The results are amazing. The readers are a thing of the past. Hey, if you're like me and tired of those glasses, call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020. They offer a variety of services like vision correction surgery. So call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020, or get them online at sanantoniolasik.com.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Retired construction worker Jesse Munoz had knee pain off the charts.
1 to 10, my pain was like a 10. It was completely unbearable.
Doctors told him he needed both knees replaced, but Jesse found a better idea. QC Kinetics, all natural regenerative medicine treatments, and the results were astonishing.
That was the best decision I could have done because of QC Kinetics. I'm able to continue doing what I've always loved to do.
Jesse's back to living a great pain-free life with 5 kids and 12 grandchildren.
If it hadn't been for QC Kinetics, I would have had to stop with my grandkids 5 years ago. They've given me my life back.
Don't let joint pain rob you of your life with your loved ones. Call QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics gave me the life that I had dreamt of was my kids and my grandkids and now my great-grandkids.
Lasting pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. Spurs came home, stayed home, put on their city edition uniforms, put out that fancy court, and went out and played some good defense last night. Played the Mavericks. They lost, but it was valiant. I mean, this late in the season to see the kids flying around, playing a good game, almost in it. What was the last time in the game, RJ, that the Spurs had a chance to win, according to the metrics?
According to ESPN's win probability. Well, I'd like you to guess. That's how we kind of do this.
They were in it to win it there in the fourth. What was it, like 3 minutes?
Excuse me. With 4:10 left.
4:10?
They were up 101-100 and had a 53.4% chance of winning the game. And after that, it was kind of all she wrote.
And then they became the Spurs.
Right. I mean, if you look at this graph, though, it is mostly Mavs. I mean, the Spurs had a bit of a positive win probability near the end of the third quarter, back to the Mavs. Then they had that really intense run. The highest it reached was actually 2 minutes before that, with 6:13 left in the game. With the game tied at 95, the Spurs held a 63.2% win probability.
Luka had a triple-double, but there was only 18 points, and it was the worst shooting night of the season. So congratulations to the Spurs defensively. This season, and until proven otherwise, they're going to always have trouble man-to-man defense with really good ball play, really good one-on-one types like Kyrie and Luka. I mean, they're just going to have trouble. And while they did a pretty good job on Luka, he still had a triple-double, and Kyrie was just being Kyrie. And that being said, I couldn't have been happier with the fight. And sometimes you question, how badly do these guys want it after they've lost a couple and they look tired. But, Devin Vassell, that man came to fight last night. Post-game, Pop, well, listen to Pop. I think he feels a lot like I do, and maybe some of y'all. This was the kind of loss that at least you can go, well, we got a little bit better.
Look, you guys got stat sheets over there? No, we out-rebounded them. We shot better than they did. We outscored them in the third quarter, outscored them in the fourth quarter. We had the same number of assists, basically. I think they had one more than we did. But we had 16 turnovers. That's the difference in the game. I couldn't be more proud of the way we played. We have made all kinds of mistakes, but so did they, and they want to win a championship. Every game, individually and team-wise. And they did that. I'm really proud of what they did. That's the bottom line. Nothing else to it. They busted their ass and played to win. Can't ask for anything else.
Coach Pop post after the Spurs go down to the Mavericks late. Kyrie Irving getting into his bag and really just being Kyrie. But other than that, man, Devin Vassell, I thought not game ball. Trey Jones gets game ball, but Devin gets he did everything he could.
Do you know his plus minus? It's just kind of interesting to look.
Let me go look at it because honestly I don't.
Minus 18.
See, that's because he played a lot of minutes.
I know. I'm just saying it's because you're right.
Hate that stat.
Well, I mean, it's valuable for some context. It was a great Devin game, ho-hum Wemby game, great Trey Jones game.
And Keldon. Let's not forget about Keldon. 5 of 10 from the floor. Hustle points, first on the floor more than once. And that's one of the things I think sometimes we get lost in, and the young Spurs do too, that first on the floor matters. If you're getting down and you're getting after it, and you're the first one going after a loose ball, those little things, it does translate to those that when your feet are on the floor instead of your knees. That was the kind of fight that we wanted. Pop talked about it. Wemby did not have a great game.
No, I wouldn't say he had a bad game.
No, he didn't have a bad. No,
that's why it was ho-hum. It was,
The thing about it is there are 99% of the NBA would kill or die to have the game that Wemby had last night. I mean, but this was
kill or die.
Yeah, both. Considering the situation. But I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Just like in the old days where we used to have to come up with reasons to give somebody else a player of the game award over Tim. I mean, just because Tim was always the best guy. Wemby is still the best guy, even though he only had 12 points last night. You're talking about plus minus. He was a +5 while he was on the court. And I want to talk about that. It's a stat that I hate until we apply it to this situation. Wemby is headed toward Rookie of the Year. That's done. Universally, if there's anybody who votes something other than Victor, they live in the greater Oklahoma City, Edmond area.
And we banish them.
And we banish them into staying where they are. But now the focus is on Defensive Player of the Year. And when I see the +5, even though I know he had a terrible game, that tells me he was doing a lot on defense. This guy, Bill Simmons, not Simons, who, don't do that, is a basketball guy. Everybody knows who Bill is. Ryen Russillo, also a basketball guy. This is two basketball guys on a podcast. You can tell because they're cussing. Listen to them talk about Wemby.
I just think it's important to define that there actually is a line for every single person that's like, no, it's only about winning. It's like, yeah, but there could be a statistical line that would make you go, okay, I can't deny this anymore.
All right, right now they're 23rd net rating defense.
You can net rating the shit out of me. Throw the differentials.
How can
at
you
me.
have the defensive
Hammer.
player of the year and be 23rd in defense though? That's
because
ridiculous.
you've watched him and he impacts the game defensively more than any player in the league right now.
More than Rudy Gobert?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna count the last 6 weeks and not the whole season. You're gonna be that guy. Because Wemby was Wemby was like a deer on ice in some of those games the first 2 months. I think that should count a little bit.
A deer on ice. He wasn't altering any shots whatsoever those
No, he
first 2
was,
months.
but
God,
I just think
footage. What
he's-
feed do you have? Who's your
I
cable
just
provider?
think he's a different guy. I think he's settled in. There's a swagger, and I don't know. He just seems like he's figured it out. I don't know if that means he should be the defensive player of the year.
I think Bill Simmons saw Victor in the previous game playing in overtime. That 5 minutes of overtime was the most swagger I've seen from Wemby all season long. That was a 42-win team in that game. The team we saw last night is a 35-win game team because they hustled to the bitter end. They didn't hit the shots. They got out-battled. But you take away 2 turnovers. 2. At any point in the game, they win it. And they probably win it by more than a point. But that's where we stand today. Wemby is the rookie of the year, and he's defensive player of the year. Since that podcast hit the airwaves, Russillo was going to vote for him, right?
That's what he said. Yeah, he had an interesting line of thought. He said there has to be a number, right? Like a number where you ultimately you're past a point of no return, and it has to be Wemby. He was talking about that if a say in baseball, and he's being ridiculous. Say somebody had 100 home runs and 1,000 RBIs, right? Even if their team is horrible,
there's the hurdle, and you did.
Yeah. So I don't know what that point is for Wemby. There's so many advanced metrics and statistics that represent the contributions he's making on the field or on the court, but it is difficult to get people to, good team, play well, we vote this player. You know what I mean? Like there's a caveman brain to everyone when it comes to awards like these.
And that you earn it the year before, all those unwritten rules of award giving. Here's one that might convince you. This floated around this week. Wemby already has more blocks in his first season than 81% of the veteran NBA players in their entire career already. You need more? They keep coming with every game, though last night appeared he was about to hit the wall. Speaking of the wall, we're about to hit the break wall. Coming back, we're going to talk with Dr. Jason Garrett. He's been gone for a bit. We're going to catch up with him, try to figure out some baseball injuries that are suddenly becoming very, very apparent. And a guy who just signed a whopping contract with New Orleans is going to have surgery on his neck. We're going to talk with Dr. Garrett about your guys and how they're getting back in the game. And a guy named Jeudy has got a big old bank account. What does that mean to a guy named Ceedee? All that coming next. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. How you feeling this morning? I hope you woke up feeling fine. Nothing bothering you, ready to attack the day. But if you woke up in pain, stop. Don't live like that. There's a fix out there. It's called Arasti. I'll tell you, Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one specific purpose in mind, and that is to get you out of pain. Now, a lot of doctors do that, but it's how Arasti does it that I find fascinating and perfect for me, because it's not about pills to hide the pain. It's not about surgery to prolong it, quite frankly. It's your body fixing itself, and I appreciate that, especially in this era where you're really concerned about taking any kind of opioids or anything like that. Stay away from it. Let your body go after it, and that's what Arasti is. I've had lower back issues most of my adult life. Let me tell you, they went in the very first visit, got me going, and a couple of weeks I was back in the game far quicker than I had ever been before. When you walk into an Arasti provider, they're going to give you a full examination. They're going to find out why and what is causing the pain. They go to fix it, and before you know it, you're back in the game. They're going to accept most insurances, and here's the good news. You don't even need a referral to go. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Call it right now. They'll pick it up. Don't let life slow you down. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Arasti today. They're going to get you fixed, and when they do, I want you to thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs. They had the Dallas Mavericks in town last night. We're going to react to that. Plus, we got two teams that are in the Big Dance.
But, it's really all about the Dallas Cowboys. We know the sky is falling in Cowboys Nation. Is it because Cowboy fans have zero faith in the front office? We'll dive into that on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The ultimate March Hoops experience is in downtown Las Vegas. Don't miss out on Mega March at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. There's no better place to take in the action than in the 6 pools at Circa with their 143-foot screen. Experience the games poolside with various seating options. No matter the size of your group, Stadium Swim is the place to be. Find all the Stadium Swim options at CircaLasVegas.com and join Jason and Joe from The Blitz for Mega March at Circa Resort and Casino. Book now at CircaLasVegas.com.
At Target, our prices for Easter are so low, you can put all your eggs in one basket. Surprise them with Target exclusive Favorite Day treats, like our unique chocolate bunny and a cute basket, all from just $4. Add in some fun with a 6-pack of bubbles, 50-piece sidewalk chalk, and super soft stuffed animals, all from $5. And get great family picks with new Easter looks. It's easy with women's and girls' dresses for only $20 and under. Low prices on everything for Easter? Now that's Target.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the March Spring Sale, March 15th through the 25th, and get 35% off paints and stains with prices starting at $28.92. That means 35% off our most popular color family, blue. Psychologists have found it to be soothing and relaxing, which makes it especially great for bedrooms and bathrooms. And of course, get 35% off all of our other colors. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
When something happens to your kitchen, you might say,
"This is ludicrous."
But that won't fix your home. That will only get you the rapper, Ludacris.
Having trouble? Don't panic. Don't be alarmed. You need to file a claim. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
That's right. You can file a claim on the app or call us.
Thanks, Mr. Chris.
No matter how ludicrous the situation, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Paul.
I run a farm with my family, and thanks to Cricket 5G, I know they can reach me, even when I'm out walking our dog Valentine.
Good dog, Valentine. Big nationwide 5G. Get fast 5G on 4 lines for only $25 per month each. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer pay for testimonial. Discounts vary per line. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
The LaTappe Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things fitness fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. LaTappe, Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
World Championship Boxing is coming to San Antonio. Freddie Roach, legendary trainer of rising star Gio Cabrera, will be headlining the boxing event of the year at the Boeing Tech Port Arena. Stars like Justin Figueroa, Shariah Moreau, along with several Texas fighters, are set to light up the ring. Don't miss this epic showdown, Saturday, March 30th. Doors open at 5 p.m. Get your tickets now at dnpboxing.com or call 210-600-3699 for details. Brought to you by Everlast, Quintana Rum, and Desi Martinez Promotions.
Puro San Antonio football is back at the Alamo Dome. Join the herd and watch your Brahmas in the best seats at the best prices. Single, season, and group tickets are available now. Don't miss any Brahmas action this season, led by legendary head coach Wade Phillips. The Brahmas kick off the season March 31st against the DC Defenders in the Alamo Dome. Let's pack the Dome. Experience the excitement. Head to theufl.com to buy your Brahmas tickets today. That's theufl.com. Vamos Brahmas!
Good morning, everybody. Jason Minix here from The Blitz. Spurs, Mavs last night. Of course, we'll react to that on The Blitz starting at 2 o'clock NCAA tournament time. But it's all about the Dallas Cowboys, and it just feels like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. Is that because Cowboy fans have zero faith in the Cowboys front office? I know you, Salty, RJ Ochoa, have very little faith in the Cowboys front office right now, right? Right?
Oh, ye of little faith. He is RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. The Blitz will be busy today at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, they're going to be out at the Twin Peaks over on my home field, De Zavala. They'll be there at 2. We're going through 7. The games are on. The drinks will be cold. The food will be scratch. The K's will be man. And the views will be scenic. Dr. Jason Garrett's imminent. He's going to be here in just a second. We're talking injuries with him. Been a minute. Can't wait to catch up with him. News out of the NFL world. Jerry Jeudy is about to get paid. He is getting paid. Reflects the effects on the Cowboys will be imminent. Ceedee's about to get, we knew he was going to get paid. But like you keep saying, the longer Jerry waits, the price tag keeps going up.
The Jerry Jeudy thing was difficult to project. I don't think anybody saw Cleveland trading for him and then giving him the brand new deal.
Fast.
But they're in a race against Jamar Chase and the Cincinnati Bengals, as well as Justin Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings. And you might think that Ceedee isn't on their level. You might think he's better. But whatever number they get, if they get their deal done before Ceedee gets his done, Ceedee's getting paid more.
Yes.
I mean,
no question.
That's just the way this goes. I mean, supply and demand.
Do you think, now, without rehashing what we already have, do you think part of is that Jerry knows that, man, he's going to be expensive, but there are 2 dudes on this team that I cannot lose, and he's one of them.
I mean, you would think, but you would think that extension would be done by now. And to be fair, it also isn't done for Justin Jefferson and for Jamar Chase, and they all probably want to see Ceedee Lamb get paid first. I mean, Nobody wants to be the first one to get it done, but like we've talked about many different times in the past, if you want to be first, you have to overwhelm. You have to give something that you have to present an offer that cannot be refused.
So,
and go ahead.
You brought it up. So we got Ceedee, we got Justin Jefferson. Who are the other guys that are about to get paid?
Jamar Chase is the big one.
So Jamar is all in the same contract period, or like 1 year out?
Ceedee and Justin Jefferson are both class of 2020.
Okay.
So they're both about to play their option year. They both completed 4 years of service in the NFL. Jamar Chase was the following year. So he's eligible for an extension. Yeah, he's eligible for an extension for the first time, but that's when you want to get the deal done. So, and they paid Joe Burrow last year. They obviously plan on paying Jamar Chase. If you plan on paying the guy, now would be the time to do so. From a wide receiver standpoint, checking over the cap, average per year, the going rate right now is $30 million. Tyreek Hill's got that. Devontae Adams at 28, Cooper Kupp's at 26.7. I mean, you're looking, this is going to be north of 30 for all 3 of these dudes before it's all said and done.
Is there a financially expedient better time with June 1? Is there another date out there that the Cowboys are waiting on to surpass that will help them?
No, the June 1st thing only applies to, I suppose if you want to do that, but an extension lowers Ceedee's cap number for this year.
Right.
So you actually benefit from doing that, which again, you would have assumed it would have been done already.
Zero sense.
Right. Ceedee is actually, because he's on his option year now, that is a significantly more expensive cap hit than anything else. It's over the life of a rookie contract. So Ceedee's first year, his cap number, $2.5 million, 3.2 the next year, 3.8 the next year, 4.5 last year. But this is the 5th year option year, which is closer to commensurate relative to market rate. So Ceedee is currently counting almost $18 million against the salary cap. So you do an extension, you can lower that significantly, and you can, backload that money and from a bookkeeping standpoint and have salary cap space to work with. But why would you want to do that? It's not like you just had an opportunity to use that to find players to help your team or anything like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do such things like that. As we head into the tournament, if you've already filled out your brackets and you included Kansas on a win, you might want to adjust that. We had news today that Kevin McCullough, San Antonio's own, by the way, at Kansas, is going to be out with a knee injury. He will not be in the tournament. Let's talk some injuries with a guy we've missed. Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. You've been gone for the last couple of weeks, out and about. Glad to have you back, Doc. How's everything going?
Everything's great. How are you guys doing? I'm recovering from the open workouts and looking forward to the next round.
So how did everything go?
It was good. So it was 3 weeks of basically they release a workout. You have 5 days to do it, post your score. You got to be validated in a CrossFit gym, or you videotape it, they can prove it. There's a lot of a lot of oversight there, and the 3 workouts were pretty good. In my age group, I finished in the top 7 or 8% in the world, so I get to move on to the next round.
So what were the workouts? I can't wait to hear this.
All right, so the last one was you do a thruster. So you pick up a 95-pound barbell, you go into a front squat, stand up, put it over your head, repeat that 10 times, and then you go straight to 10 chest-to-bar pull-ups. So basically doing a pull-up, but getting your chest all the way to the bar and back down. So significantly harder than a regular pull-up.
Yeah.
You do 5 rounds, then you rest 1 minute, then the weight goes up to 135 pounds. You do it 7 of those thrusters, and then you do 7 bar muscle-ups, which is kind of a gymnastics movement where you stand and pull up, but you now end up above the bar vertical. So basically you're doing a dip at the top of the bar, and it takes a ton of torque and force to get over that. So 5 more rounds of that. You got 15 minutes to finish the whole thing. It's extraordinarily challenging, high intensity. Your heart rate's about 200, and every muscle feels like it's going to explode. So that's just kind of one example of one of the workouts.
It just sounds like another morning show for RJ and I. Just a little walk in the park. That 200 beat a minute heart rate. Don't you always have that, RJ?
Yeah, I mean, kind of a normal thing for me. That's why I drink coffee. I mean, just to kind of tie it all together in a nice, clean way.
Like Ritalin. Okay, let's talk about some injuries that are floating around. It is time for the silly and season beginning baseball injuries. And of course, pitchers are always front and center. Let's start exactly with Garrett Cole, out 1 to 2 months with an elbow injury. The elbow and Tommy John. Talk about Garrett Cole's injury and what can we expect over the next couple of months as he rehabs to get back.
Yeah, especially this early in the season. Anybody that's got elbow inflammation, especially if it's on the insides or the middle part of the elbow, where that UCL, the ulnar collateral ligament, that ends up tearing in a lot of pitchers, the Tommy John type surgery. If you're having issues with that this early in the season, it's probably good to shut him down for 2 months, fully rehab it. Now, could he continue to pitch? Could he play? Probably. But do you really want to risk that with a guy that's that high quality of a player and the value to your team? Probably not. So I would say shut him down for 2 months, reevaluate, rehab the entire time. He'll be throwing and just make it more.
Question about Tyron Smith, because the Cowboys chose to not bring him back, and everybody's been kind of, I guess supporting the move, citing his injury history, whatever. Last year, the injury he dealt with was a torn hamstring. And as I understand and understood at the time, that's really rare and it required surgery. I mean, at this point, for a mid-30s athlete, is it possible that the fountain of health he found or refound last year can sustain itself, or was last year kind of an aberration in your medical opinion?
I would think a guy like him is probably going to continue to have significant injuries going forward. I think he's had foot issues in the past and hamstring issues. Those things don't tend to completely respond. You end up with lots of imbalances, and a guy that's that big, that strong, the odds of him continue to hurt himself are really high, especially as he gets further into his 30s. You don't get younger, you don't get healthier. I think from a business standpoint, this was a great move for the Cowboys to unload that, because I think he's going to have a very significant injury history in the future.
Dr. Jason Garrett joining us. He of Veracity for his weekly stop by. We celebrate Leighton Vander Esch's career. He is retiring due to a neck injury, and as he retires and steps into the sunset, Chase Young, former defensive lineman with the Commanders, the 49ers, now of the Saints, announces he's about to have neck surgery. And I know the wherewithals in the neck surgery, we don't know, but when you hear neck surgery and defensive lineman, it's got to be of concern. I'm really concerned about the rehab after that. I mean, you get your neck stronger, but when you hear that, isn't that, you're one step closer to the door when you're a football player?
Yeah, anytime you introduce any surgery to any part of the spine, it's not good. The spine is so dynamic. There's so many multiple joints with every single level. I mean, you take your neck specifically, odds are he's got a disc herniation. They're probably going to go in, they're going to cut that piece out. But by doing that, they're going to weaken the integrity of all the protection around there. So the connective tissue, the muscles, they've got to go in there. Even if it's a microsurgery, it's still pretty significant. And there's probably some other issues going on in the joints. So some arthritis, more damage in there. He's going to have some stiffness. You lose range of motion afterwards. The rehab's going to be not really hard. Rehab for neck and back surgery is actually pretty simple, fairly straightforward. It's just hoping you get enough strength back to protect yourself in the future. And if you're a guy that's used to putting your head down and smashing people, the risk of you injuring again is extremely high.
Doc, back to baseball. I'm certain that you got up bright and early this morning to watch the Dodgers and the Padres out in Seoul. But opening day for I guess the non-nocturnal people is next week, and Jose Urquidy for the Houston Astros has a forearm strain that Jose Espada has been kind of on the fence about. There's obviously no good news, I think, that comes in anything like that. But do you think that is something that could keep him on the IL for longer than 10 days, so to speak?
If it's just a straightforward strain of the muscles in the forearm, I would expect him to get some pretty aggressive treatment and really have no issues coming back in 10 days. If they put him on a 10-day injured list, that means they don't think it's that serious. He's probably going to come back. It's more just preventative and being a little cautious at this point.
Dr. Jason,
on that note, Lance McCullers had flexor surgery last June, and the word from the Astros has been that he's going to be hopefully back after the All-Star break. I mean, that's what, like a 13-month, 14-month type thing in terms of recovery?
Usually it's not that long. So a flexor surgery means he probably tore a flexor tendon, which you have a lot of flexor tendons in your forearm. I'm assuming that's where it was in your forearm. That's where most flexor tendons are. And you rip one of those off, you've got to, one, try to put it back together as close as it was before, or attach it to another one to make it almost as strong as it was before. So it takes a while to then learn how to use that properly and get that whip action at the end of the throw.
Some baseball news, and this is my favorite baseball injury of the week. Devin Williams, pitcher with the Milwaukee Brewers, is out with a couple of stress fractures in his back. He'd had a flare-up. They didn't know what the issue was. They're going to shut him down for 6 weeks. How the heck can you throw hard enough to break bones or at least stress fracture bones in your back?
This is actually, so for teenage athletes, pitchers, baseball players, gymnasts, divers, football players, this is actually extremely common. There's an area in the spine called the pars, which doesn't fully fuse until you're an adult. More than likely, he had this issue when he was younger, so it probably didn't fuse fully. Mm-hmm. And then all that torque and rotation on it just irritates the bone. So it's not part of the spine that gives you a lot of stability and strength. It's not the one that's weight-bearing. It's the one that is impacted by rotational moves. And so if you're rotating really, really hard, as you have to throw 100 miles an hour, then you could irritate an old injury, and then it'll show up on a bone scan and look like a stress fracture or kind of a hot spot. So it's more of the bones are just, it's something that'll probably bother him his entire life as long as he plays, but not something that should derail his career.
Man, I saw that and I thought, man, you're throwing it just a little bit too hard. We might need to focus on backing off just a little bit. He is Dr. Jason Garrett. He is of Arasti, and he's the most fit guy you're going to hear from all day long. Hey, congratulations on your success, Doc. We're glad to have you back on our airwaves. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next.
Thanks, guys. Dr.
Jason Garrett of Arasti. Which one of those workouts that he was placing 7 or 8 percentile in the world would you even attempt to do? What about the push-up or the pull-up where you go above the bar?
No, I want nothing to do with it. I'm soft, man. I want nothing to do with this.
Have you ever squat thrusted in your life?
That would be a no. Have you?
I do a squat thrust every day of my life. It's the first thing I do when I wake up. I wake up, I burpee, I squat thrust, and then I shower because I have soiled myself by then. We have an entire hour of phenomenal radio coming your way that will include Ernie Johnson.
Ooh.
How often do you get to say that? Very rarely. And I still can't say it. RJ can. He got the interview. I was asleep. We're going to hear from Ernie. We're going to figure out how the Spurs turned the ball over 16 times. Oh, wait, it was Wemby. We're going to try to figure out how the Spurs are going to right the ship after a tough but valiant loss. Memphis is coming to town. We got a lot of tournament talk heading your way. Samford might be the team, as we got some news for you regarding who they're playing. Lots to get into, so stay where you are. We are the Morning Huddle, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, BetUS.com has been the only book I have ever endorsed while I'm here at San Antonio Sports Star. And every year over these previous, they have gotten better and better. And if you're brand new to BetUS.com, you better be glad you waited. Because right now you want to start up. They've got a $125 deposit bonus for new guys there at BetUS.com, and they'll do it 3 times. Get that, 3 times 125% matching bonus on your deposit. And if you're bringing crypto, even more. BetUS.com is the book made for you because they've got everything you're chasing. Not only do they have all the games, they've got all the spreads, they've got all the teases, they've got all the insurance you need, they've got everything you're chasing. They also have a casino. Well, so while you're there, play the live games, go to the casino, do it all, and they've got bonuses for deposits there. But it is the season. Get maniacal because the madness is here. Go to BetUS.com. Get yourself signed up today. Take advantage of something that is absolutely unprecedented in the industry. 3 different deposits at 125% match. You're not going to see that anywhere else. Take advantage of it today. I did. You should. BetUS.com. Go to the website, call them at 1-800-MY-BETUS, but go there. Get advantage. Get your plays in. The mania is here. Jump in today. I know you're going to thank me later.
This is the Morning Huddle with Robin RJ. Morning 6 to 10, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Tomorrow and Friday, join us for a full-court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. And catch all the madness and the best seats in the house. That's tomorrow. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Allah. And then Friday, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the basketball madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment. And Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. That's up to a $299 value. Power through spring with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Dallas Cowboys said goodbye to another former player as nose tackle Jonathan Hankins exited the Cowboys and entered the Seahawks domain. He's following his former coach, Aiden Durde. The NBA offered the Spurs to the Mavericks, and the Mavericks ate them up, 113-107. Spurs lose again. Luka with a triple-double. March Madness has begun. Wagner beat Howard, and Virginia went down to Colorado State.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Wembenyama three, good! Goes behind the back here. Oh! Little sidestep and a jam by Wembenyama. Drive. Oh, it's knocked away. Play. Wembenyama.
This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa. Now, here's Rob and RJ.
Hey, gather around. We got stuff to talk about. It is the Morning Huddle. How else are you going to be ready for the next play? Listen closely. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We got the green dot. Easy E. Edwin Hafner is speaking into our helmets. Lots to get into this hour. The tournament will begin in earnest tomorrow, but the first four started playing last night. We had one very interesting game. Lots of fun watching Wagner Howard. The other game, Virginia, Colorado State, not so much. Virginia offered us 14 points in the first half. Yeah, a little questioning there about whether they should have been in that first four. And teams like Indiana State are relegated to the NIT, which by the second is losing relevance. Man, oh man, no one wants to do anything but the tourney. The NIT is dying, man. It's dying.
Shout out Rick Pitino.
Yeah, and he spoke of it. Why would I want to do that when I got to go recruit both inside and outside because I got to fight the portal? But you do get the sense that while the NIT was always kissing your sister, there was some reason to go. You know, you wanted to go and kind of practice. Now you got teams not even going. I find that utterly stunning. News for you bracket busting types. Kevin McCullers, the most valuable player on that Kansas Jayhawk team, will be out for the playoffs. Got a knee injury. That's sad to see. As Kevin completes, I believe, his 7th or 8th year of college eligibility. He might be just about done dealing with all the COVID stuff. San Antonio's own had a great career. Boy, Kansas is going to meet him. That Samford pick's looking mighty fine for you upset high. And I thought even with him limping, Samford had a shot. I think that the money is now going to shift pretty firmly on Samford. Any other upsets that you've seen or heard about?
Well, the JMU one is kind of the upset du jour that everybody is flocking to. The Samford one, we'll have to ask Ernie Johnson about that later on.
Oh, he's coming. That's right.
Stands to reason as a solid, although now it's kind of difficult to really qualify it as an upset. But still, you beat Kansas in the tournament. I mean, you deserve a lot of props. Rob, I got to say, I don't know if you realize this. We're 2 for 2. All right, last night, we took Wagner, the mighty Seahawks, against Howard, and we also took the Rams, Colorado State. Now, I don't think either of us took Virginia to, barely exist as a basketball team, but that did happen nonetheless. So we have 2 picks tonight. Do you remember who we took in the final first 4 games?
Let me grab the bracket du jour. They seem to change. I'm pretty sure I took Colorado to down Boise State, and I'm also comfortable that I took Montana State to beat.
That's correct. So life looks promising early on. I had a neighbor of mine text me last night after the Virginia game and said, well, my bracket's busted. And I said, no. I was like, this doesn't count. You're fine. It's okay. And he was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I promise. But tomorrow's going to be an incredible day. Tomorrow is the ultimate, just sit down and don't move anymore. The True TV jokes are already out in full force.
Let's talk about that, by the way. True TV is now seeking its relevance as it does annually. It's the forgotten about channel in that package that CBS controls. They've got like Discovery, True TV, that's all in there under their umbrella. And True TV is I read where they are the 84th ranked channel as far as viewership, as far as on the normal of all the streams of all the channels we have access to. They ranked 84th in viewership, and last year, which was the 3rd or 4th year that True TV had been broadcasting games, their viewership was way down because people can't find it. One, And two, because it's a lesser, they never really have the lead-in games, the big games. Now, 2 years prior to that, in the play-in and an early round, True TV had Notre Dame playing, and their numbers went way up. But no Notre Dame meant no carry through. So we're gonna have to go find them in between the that comedy group of dudes that make the impractical jokers.
I owe an apology to, I really don't know who, but I predicted incorrectly that Max would do away with the sports add-on that people have. For people who have cut the cord and who have used Max to watch TNT or TBS, obviously NBA games there or NHL games there, I thought that they were going to cut. So it's a free add-on right now, and presumably at some point it would be part of a subscription service. But I thought that they were just roping us in, and they were going to start charging ahead of the tournament, but they have not done that. So kudos to Max, kudos to whoever it is, TBS, TNT. So I like that, because now I don't have to look for True TV. I just pull up Max and find the game that I want.
Watching the men's tournaments, a common roundtable thing. We all do it because we all have brackets. We're all, filling it out. However, have you done a women's bracket?
Not yet, but we do have a contest going at SB Nation. It's really across Fox Media, and so I have it set to fill out later this afternoon. I haven't filled out my men's one yet either. So I was waiting until today to lock everything in, final sort of thing. Have you locked any bracket in, men's or women's?
Neither have I done. And I went to get last night to put together my women's bracket. And, we know that things when you're filling out the bracket for women's, just for you who have not done it very much before, the lower seeds never win. 15 to 16 seeds have never, ever won in the tournament. So discount that. Those are done. Just like in the old days with the NCAA tournament, the 11s are the upset line, and ones normally make it to the Final Four. That's women's basketball. It does not have a lot of parity. The rich are rich and the poor are poor. And we've seen this go through. And we know that there's 4 teams coming through it. And you look at the breakdown of Iowa and Caitlin Clark, who is Caitlin, for good or bad, whether you're Staley at South Carolina or Taylor, whoever, or Texas, Caitlin is the face of the game right now, and they put Iowa in a very difficult situation there in their regional. It ain't gonna be easy. They start out easy, but their second game, West Virginia Princeton, not easy. I found it interesting the way they slotted Iowa, that they gave him just about the toughest run to go.
They want to see her prove it. I mean, that narrative is out there, right? I mean, not that they want to see, but if she does, I mean, she's already an unstoppable force. And there's all this discussion about the WNBA media rights and how they're going to kind of merge with the NBA. I mean, this is a really fortuitous timing for women's basketball, what Caitlin Clark is doing. And so the stage is kind of set for her to, I wouldn't even say walk through, but for her to dominate through. And if she does, and the conversation to your point will be, she didn't have an easy path. They didn't have an easy path. The team kind of stinks. It has to suck, by the way, to be a Hawkeye with her. Like, everyone probably only asks you about her.
Oh, yeah.
I read an article the other day about the Angels and what it's like now with Shohei Ohtani not there. And they're like, it's kind of nice. They were like, people are talking to us for us now, not just, about him. And so the Hawkeyes are probably like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
But, we're people too.
Well, we talked about how the Spurs have to adapt themselves to living in the spotlight that is Wemby. I mean, just you have to be used to living in the shadows. I think there's great benefit for the Iowa girls, because they're getting credit where they'd have never seen. These aren't professional athletes. This is girls basketball in Iowa. And they have been, they are front and center, whether they're part of the backup group or not, they're still on the stage. And I'm surprised that stage might disappear. If I'm ESPN and I see the bracket come out, I'm mad. Now, they're not the best team, and they shouldn't, probably have deserved the number 1 overall seed. That's South Carolina. But I'd have given them that number 1 just to make sure that I had Caitlin. 3 games, baby. I need you for 4, ideally 5.
It does feel like if they don't make the Sweet 16, there's going to be a bit of a whimper on things. But, I mean, the tournament has so many top dogs that I don't know that. I mean, her absence would be felt no matter what. I don't think there's any question about that. She's that powerful. She's the most seismic, important person in either tournament right now. I mean,
there will be a guy that steps forward. There's going to be a superstar that arises from this tournament. I don't know who it's going to be, but there'll be one that steps forward that we're going to remember. And it's been a long time since we've gone into a tournament where there really isn't that guy. Can you name a guy that you go, that's separate in college basketball this year? I can't. And that, that lends into the draft, but there will be one created over the next 3 days. And that's why I love this.
I would modify the question and say, is there a guy who you're tuning in to watch that game because of?
There's not one. There's not one guy.
Yeah. Whereas Caitlin is that. You're picking Caitlin over anything else because of who she is. But there isn't that star power on the men's side in this particular tournament.
It's much like basketball on TNT. You tune in for one guy. And there are some games, but it's the one guy, the ringleader, the master, the GOAT that is Ernie Johnson. Yesterday, RJ Ochoa had a chance to sit and talk with Ernie. I had a chance to have a tooth removed. It was a good day for both. We're going to talk with Ernie next. You don't want to miss any of Ernie. He has some thoughts on Wemby, and he does believe Wemby will win some titles. He'll tell you how many at the very end. And when we're done with that interview, stay close, because I'm giving away tickets to a big fight that's coming to our tech port in just a couple of weeks. You want those tickets? You're going to have to listen to Ernie, which is a pleasure anyway with RJ. Hold on tight. Ernie coming, and more Spurs talk right around the corner. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I hope you washed yourself clean underneath a Connecticut water softened shower this morning. Got into a bathtub with some candles lit, and that water's soft and cleaner than ever, because that's what Connecticut does. If that's you, carry on with your day. You're already successful. But if you did not, listen closely. Connecticut is the water softener you should have down here in South Texas. Designed in America, it is the most efficient water softener you're going to find. It doesn't even plug in. It only works off kinetic energy. I don't understand it. I just know it works. If you don't got a Connecticut, listen close. While you think you're taking care of yourself, you're not. If you think you're taking care of your home the best way you can, you're not. Connecticut is going to keep those pipes clean. You're going to make sure that white powder on those glasses coming out of your dishwasher, you're never going to see that again. Your hair is going to be softer. Your skin's going to be softer. And you're going to have a genuinely radiant attitude about life. That's me. I can tell you my anecdotal stuff. If you want to dial 210-656-PURE, P-U-R-E. Good folks at Connecticut going to come out to your home, put a Connecticut in your home, and not ask you for a penny, and give you 90 days to figure out what I already know. It is the best water softener you can have down here in South Texas. Whether you're on the aquifer, if you're on a well, or you're just taking city water, it will take care of you. Call them today. Get that Connecticut for 90 days. And in 3 months, guess what? You're going to be just like me. I'm sure you're going to buy that Connecticut and be like us and have the last water softener you're ever going to own. Go to SA. Excuse me. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. But listen, Coast, call 656-PURE right now. Get yourself a Connecticut, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Time is running out. We're almost sold out. Are you playing at the Golf Club of Texas? Get on it. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join. Or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation, Monday, March 25th. Presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
JD, have you ever been at a bar or something and talking to some gay guy and you kind of put it out there you might be, just to get the attention?
No.
Just put it out there?
Not John's experimenting.
Not experimenting with nothing.
You
Danish
just
wife.
invited a room full of men to come sit naked in your hot tub during the break. All right.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets, the bus wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
March is National Nutrition Month. Metro Health invites you to go beyond the table to celebrate food and its role in health and wellness. Whether we eat around a dinner table, on the go, or at a restaurant, choosing what we eat is important. Stay nourished on any budget. Metro Health offers information and resources to help you and your family savor your health. For tips, recipes, and much more, visit sa.gov/health. Eat well, feel great.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You know what happens when a smart group of medical professionals get together and commit to a technology designed to relieve your aching joints without surgery? It's called QC Kinetics.
And this guy knows the power of a solid team. Emmitt Smith, football legend and Dancing with the Stars champ.
This elite medical group, some of them orthopedic doctors, got together and said, why are we prescribing so many medications? Why are we sending so many people to surgery in droves? Let's change this.
The answer? Natural biologics, our own healing properties. And the outcome is the country's largest provider of non-surgical regenerative treatments, QC Kinetics.
Actually, the real outcome are the tens of thousands of patients who finally got their quality of life back without surgery, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Back here on the Morning Huddle, my name is RJ Ochoa. It is March. The madness is here, and we have brought the very best, the most professional, the dashing, the debonair, the internationally famous. It is the one and only Ernie Johnson. Ernie, thank you so much for joining us here on 94.1.
RJ, thanks, man. Good talking to you. How's everything in San Antonio these days?
It's all great. Victor Wembanyama is the talk of the town. I might as well start here. You have seen a lot of basketball in your day, a lot of basketball players. Your thoughts on Wemby, you've given them, but to us specifically, what are your thoughts as his rookie season winds down?
Oh man, I'm very impressed. I was impressed at the start, and I'm impressed with his staying power here late in the year to be putting up the kind of numbers he's been putting up. That game he had the other night with it must have been 30, 15, 7 and 7 blocks. It was just ridiculous. I'm with Pop. That he says we're going to be seeing things out of this kid you've never seen before. We already are, and so he's very impressive. And I love his poise. He joined us on All-Star Weekend, and was just a delight to be around, man. So the league is lucky to have him, a kid with poise and a future that's just ridiculous.
You mentioned the numbers. We like to call the new 5x5 thing that had never happened before. That's just a Wemby. If you guys want to go with that, that's up to y'all. Because
I'll use it. I'll steal it, and I'll give you credit.
That's by all means. But so because when it's all said and done, he's going to have a million of these things. You mentioned All-Star Weekend, obviously, and you guys did such a great job with him and in general. It was around then that the conversation was percolating around who could be the future face of the NBA. You mentioned Wemby's poise. He's obviously an incredibly mature young man. Do you think he has that potential? Obviously, so people talk about the Spurs and so many different lights, but does Victor have the chance to be a legitimate face and power driver for the association as a whole?
Oh, without question. And because part of that is personality too. So he's got all these skills and he's got personality. He's just 20 years old. I mean, come on. I don't even want to think about what I was doing when I was 20 years old, and I certainly didn't want to do it on a world stage. So certainly he can. And what helps that is if your team is winning, so if his skills translate into San Antonio returning to the kind of dominance it once enjoyed, then he can't help but be the face. So yeah, that can certainly happen.
You're speaking our language. We were talking to the great Ernie Johnson here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Ernie, that we love our basketball in San Antonio, not just the Spurs, of course, the collegiate level as well. Lots of Final Fours, upcoming one. I know we're excited to see you soon enough. What are your thoughts as we get set to kind of start the tournament in earnest here this week? It feels a little bit more chaotic than usual, but again, we're fascinated to hear what you have to say.
Hey, we love chaos this time of year, don't we? I mean, that's what makes the tournament so special. And look, it's always been one of my favorite things, not just to watch, but to cover. We've had for over a dozen years, we've been teaming up with CBS, and bringing the tournament to folks. So the unpredictability is what's great. And I think the real charm of the tournament, how it brings folks together, how it shrinks the world a little bit. Even if you're not a big basketball fan, you got a bracket you're filling out, and all of a sudden you're a big fan of James Madison. And so I love that aspect of it. And another aspect, and this is what's kind of gone into you and I talking today. Folks at Buffalo Wild Wings got a hold of me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in being part of this promotion that we've got, this Beat the Buffalo?" And give me details. And so they got this Buffalo named Jack, who stands out in the field, and they put team names behind him, and whichever direction he looks, that's his pick. And so he did a men's bracket and a women's bracket. And the thing about it, it's not just that, it's that excuse me, folks like you and anybody else out there can enter their bracket, and if you beat Jack the Buffalo, you got a chance to go to the Final Four next year, men's or women's, and win a year's supply of wings. So that's what's at stake in this tournament. And I don't know if you've seen the video we put out, but it's interesting. It's interesting that he has McNeese winning the whole thing. I think that's a unique take, although McNeese, could surprise somebody and win a game or two. But I think that's, and what I loved about, I think he had me in mind when he picked Yale to beat Auburn in their opener. because if that happens, we're on the air in New York doing the studio show. There will be some good fodder that I can torture Charles with. But yeah, it was fun to watch. And look, it's a fun time of year. And everybody's got a bracket, and everybody's got reasons that they pick teams that they do, just like Jack does. And Jack, when he did the women's bracket, he had number one seeds get knocked out automatically. And had the Colorado Buffaloes winning, which is not surprising for a Buffalo.
Yeah, no bias.
No, exactly.
The great Ernie Johnson, once again, with us here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I actually, Ernie, got in with this station by winning a contest myself. And I this is no joke, won a year's supply worth of wings. Now, we don't have to discuss where they were
come
from.
on. Really? No.
They weren't, again, I won't let you know where they were from, but it really was a year's supply of wings, and it's turned into a great career for me. And I'm really grateful to God for that. But in a sense, that's a little bit of what this time of year kind of is all about. I mean, why can't it be McNeese? Why can't Jack be the first person to have the perfect bracket? I mean, this is Kate McAllister said it in Home Alone. This is truly the season of perpetual hope, and that's what people love so much about the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, without question, man. It's such a fun time, and I think. Again, to the point of just it brings the fringe fan in there too. Yeah, you can be a diehard college basketball fan, but you know what? Your bracket may lose out to an office mate who doesn't know if the ball's blowing up or stuff. But that's the way it goes. And so it's a great time of year. Can't wait to see how it plays out. I can't wait to see if anybody is able. Because see what I think. I think if UConn trots the same guys out every night, going to be very, very difficult to beat UConn in this tournament. But I think that's why they play them, man. And if I have to, before you even ask, do you have a sleeper? Samford's going to the Sweet 16. Okay.
That's a popular pick, but enough, hipster enough to where you're kind of in on the cool crowd, Ernie. So the incredible Ernie Johnson with us here. Who would have thought you and me, Ernie, we'd be here breaking bread, talking about wings and Jack the Buffalo and all sorts of stuff. As you leave, how many titles does Victor win when it's all said and done?
Oh, that's a really tough question. I'll give him at least one.
Okay, we'll take it for now.
At least one. At least one. That's a really hard question, but I think he has the stuff to lead a team there.
That's very well said. Ernie Johnson, enjoy the tournament. We will be watching, and we will go where you take us. We appreciate it as always. Have a great call and have a lot of fun.
Appreciate you. Thanks, man.
The GOAT, Ernie Johnson, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. RJ had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. Only one? Come on. I think that Ernie had to face his crew with Shaq and all that when he went back. And come on. One?
But when one happens, you can say I was right. At least one.
Hey, coming back, the Spurs did go down. Wemby did not perform up to his normal standards, but the team, they fought valiantly. We're going to hear from Pop. We're going to hear from Devin Vassell. We're going to hear from Bill Simmons. And we might even hear from Ryen Russillo. Hold on tight. More to do. This is the Morning Huddle, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you think about grilling, you think about the spring days, and guess what? Spring is here. Celebrate appropriately. Head over to Tri-County Meat Market. Get some good meat and throw it on the grill this weekend. You deserve it. Bring in the spring with something spectacular like a big old porterhouse steak. Get one of those big 1.5-inch thick ones. Get a couple of them. I like to love a little olive oil on it, a little cracked salt and pepper. That's it. Throw it on a piping hot grill. Seal that thing till it's a little crispy, till that meat just starts to turn a little dark and that fat starts to drip. Go get yourself and eat it with nothing else, because it doesn't need anything else, because it's Tri-County meat. A great meal always starts with great meat from Tri-County. If it's not a porterhouse you're chasing, maybe it's something a little bit smaller. Maybe it's a ribeye, or maybe you're looking for a New York strip, something quick and easy. That's why I love Tri-County. I walk in not knowing what I want, but they got everything I need to up my grilling game. I get the meat I'm chasing. Maybe there's a new rub you're after, or something special to add to the flavor. Maybe you're just chasing that great deal for the 5 for 25, 5 items in a bag, $25. If you haven't done it, trust me, it is the best deal in San Antonio. And you first responders, you're always getting 10% just for being you and doing what you do for us. Thank you. That's Tri-County Meat Market out on Ralph Fair over on Huebner Road. If you haven't been, go. And if you have been, what's been so long since you've been back? Head over to Tri-County, get some good meat, and I know you're going to be thanking me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, the Spurs. They had the Dallas Mavericks in town last night. We're going to react to that. Plus, we got two teams that are in the big dance.
But, it's really all about the Dallas Cowboys. We know the sky is falling in Cowboys Nation. Is it because Cowboy fans have zero faith in the front office? We'll dive into that on The Blitz starting at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
At BetUS.com, why do we care about a college basketball tournament every March, where bets mean everything? Because it's March Mania, where glory triumphs and anything can happen, where underdogs can make or break our hearts. Because it's March Mania, where brackets are broken and buzzers are beaten. And there's always been a sportsbook there for you and your best buds. Because it's March Mania. BetUS has been with you through 30 marches together. And like any good six-man, we've always had your back. And because it's March, BetUS.com is matching the mania with a mad offer. Back, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And the extra confidence that comes from a 10% gambler's insurance. Because anything can happen during March Mania. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins. Get started today.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, ultra soft on the potty. Let's just muscle roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushioning things so our drinks feel fly. So worth it. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get parlay selection features, live betting options, and the best daily promotions in the business. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. This U.S. promotional offer not available in D.C., Mississippi, North Carolina, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. For West Virginia, visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. First bet offer for new customers only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
The Basketball Madness is back at Twin Peaks, and you already know how San Antonio Sports Star does it. Tomorrow and Friday, join us for a full court live broadcast with the lovely ladies at Twin Peaks. Here's your chance to call out of work and catch all the madness in the best seats in the house. That's tomorrow. We're live from 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks at Days of Awe. And then Friday, we're doing it all again, 2 to 7 at Twin Peaks, the Live Oak location. Catch all the Basketball Madness live with us. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
94.1. Wake up with a Morning Huddle.
It is the Morning Huddle here on San Antonio Sports Star. What do I gotta have happen to sing One Shining Moment? Because I've been working out. I've been practicing.
You have to make or correctly predict half of the Elite 8 teams.
And I have till tomorrow to turn in my bracket to do such things.
So if you get half, doesn't matter what regions, you get 4 of 8 teams. You're singing One Shining Moment here.
I think I might have a full
dressed
on,
like Elvis.
Yeah, I think we might do a full on movie because I'm pretty comfortable. I'm going to get half.
Okay.
Into the.
Oh, if you're that comfortable, then why don't you lower the stakes? Say if you just get 2.
No, I'm going to get half. I want to earn it.
That's Rob Thompson's music.
I have to decide which version I want to do.
There's not a decision.
Oh, well.
It's one obvious choice.
Virginia didn't offer us their One Shining Moment last night. Man, that was a disgrace. But I can't wait, man. Tomorrow, make sure you're with us. The Blitz gets going at 2. The games get going earlier. Head out to Twin Peaks over on Days of Olive. Friends of like mine, all adorned in jerseys. Out watching the game. Aggies play Thursday, the men, taking on Nebraska.
Friday, I believe.
I'm sorry, Friday. Yes, Friday. Friday evening, about 5 o'clock or so. The A&M Nebraska thing I find very interesting if you haven't paid attention. Both the men and the women are playing Nebraska in the tournament. And this was done by 2 different selection committees, both on the heels of Trev Alberts being hired away from Nebraska to be the new athletic director at A&M. I'm looking at the win propositions across. Most of the lines have A&M men barely beating Nebraska.
Right. Just quickly, as it sort of relates to that, Nebraska has a new AD as of about 20, 25 minutes ago. Troy Dannon, who is Washington's athletic director, is leaving for Nebraska. Do you know what is significant about this?
Well, Washington, wasn't that where DeBoers was when he went to Alabama? But anyway, no, I don't know.
I mean, so he saw DeBoer leave, but Troy Dannon has held this position for 5 months, the Washington AD position. And the Huskies reached the title game. DeBoer left, obviously, to take over for Saban, and nobody can fault him for that. And Troy Dannon also hired Jed Fish to replace him, and he fired Mike Hopkins, the Huskies basketball coach. They did all that, and now peace out.
But we're mad at the portal. But coaches are mad at the portal. This dude's had his gig for 5 months. Fired the coach and then left. Can you fire the coach? No, everybody's afraid of him. Let him go.
No offense to Nebraska, but is it really worth that? If DeBoer leaves for Alabama and everyone with a brain says, oh, duh. You know what I mean? Like, of course you're going to do that.
How long would you stay at Washington?
I mean, I'm not saying I would stay forever, but
I mean,
would the school to lure me be Nebraska?
They're headed toward doormat status really soon. They've got a battle coming their way just to make their way in a conference that they're not suited for.
Wow.
It's going to be a mess. Spurs last night were valiant in defeat. 16 turnovers at the end of the day. And when we do the post-mortem on this NBA season, the number that's going to stick out in future years will be just the sheer volume of turnovers. Not the inopportune turnovers, which there's plenty of those. Just the dribble off your toe in the second minute of the first quarter, just the no look that you should have looked past, that, you get lost in the flow of the game. You didn't get a bucket and maybe you played some defense and that little possession scenario was a wash, but 16 turnovers. And how many did Wemby have last night?
He had 5.
5. At a third.
Luka had 4. If we're measuring him against.
But Luka gets a little bit of an excuse because if he's in the game, he's dribbling the ball. He's making every decision. Wemby's the recipient of a lot of decisions and is making that turnover within a millisecond of getting the ball. A quick dribble, thinking he could dribble around a guard, and he gets cookied. The hold the ball for the millisecond too late, not realizing, dude, you're in the paint. You're 7'5". Every defender's coming for you. You're going to have to make a decision. Those things that just gall you about the best player on the team. Pop talked about the effort last night. That wasn't the problem. In fact, he was rather proud of his team.
Look, you guys got stat sheets over there? We out-rebounded them. We shot better than they did. We outscored them in the third quarter, outscored them in the fourth quarter. We had the same number of assists, basically. I think they had one more than we did. But we had 16 turnovers. That's the difference in the game. I couldn't be more proud of the way we played. We have made all kinds of mistakes, but so did they, and they want to win a championship. Our goal is to get better every game, individually and team-wise, and they did that. I'm really proud of what they did. That's the bottom line, nothing else to it. They busted their ass and played to win. Can't ask for anything else.
He was describing Devin Vassell last night. He busted his ass, and he played to win. I'm not sure Wemby was in it to win it with, the full vigor that we're accustomed to. He looked tired. He looked worn out, and a lot of that was Dallas defense, and they've defensed him pretty well this season. But on the other side, his defensive presence was felt, and the Spurs were in it all the way through. Our favorite stat here on the Morning Huddle was when was the last time in the game the Spurs still had a predictable percentage of winning.
Well, actually, our favorite stat is 20 assists.
Oh,
that's our favorite stat. But it was with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. The Spurs had a 53% win probability, leading 101-100, and then very quickly the slope gave out, and it was all she wrote.
Kyrie took it over and went and won a game the way Kyrie wins games. He just wasn't stoppable. I wanted to see Victor get out on Luka and play a little bit of defense on him. We didn't see much of that, but the defensive strategy on Luka worked. 18 points, his worst shooting night of the season. It was still sadly a triple-double in the victory, but all in all, I think you parse everything they did on Luka as a success, and Kyrie was just Kyrie. And right now, Kyrie is as hot as any player is in the league, and he just closed the game down last night. No getting around.
He spoke about Wemby and Defensive Player of the Year candidacy. It was a really, as Kyrie is known for, a thoughtful, calm, retrospective sort of answer. And Kyrie's playing better than, almost anybody in the NBA right now. But he said, you have to be smart in challenging him because he does bait you a lot. He does do things like a Defensive Player of the Year. He's showing signs. He's exceeded all the Defensive Player of the Year stats of the previous guys that have won it. You see it. I don't know who they're going to pick, but he has all the tools to be named Defensive Player of the Year. He's for sure a candidate. I don't know how he wouldn't be unless the game's played in minutes, but every Defensive Player of the Year that's won the past 2 years, he's almost head and shoulder, and we still have, 15 or some odd games left. I give him credit for being such a young player, but learning on the fly and doing everything he can to get his team wins.
He speaks the truth, and I think that's whatever about him. He's raw, but I see him better now than the first time I saw him. I see him better now than when I saw the film, and now he's learning to lurk. He's learning to do the things to kind of lure you in to get embarrassed, and that's the swagger that we've started to see. Bill Simmons and Ryen Russillo, two renowned basketball minds, one better than the other in my brain, but had a little podcast discussion about Wemby. You can tell it's a podcast because they cuss. Listen to this.
I just think it's important to define that there actually is a line for every single person that's like, no, it's only about winning. It's like, yeah, but there could be a statistical line that would make you go, okay, I can't deny this anymore.
All right, right now they're 23rd net rating defense.
You can net rating the shit out of me. Throw the differentials.
How can you have the defensive player of the year and be 23rd in defense, though? That's
because
ridiculous.
You've watched him, and he impacts the game defensively more than any player in the league right now.
More than Rudy Gobert?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna count the last 6 weeks and not the whole season. You're gonna be that guy. Because Wemby was Wemby was like a deer on ice in some of those games the first 2 months. I think that should count a little bit.
A deer on ice. He wasn't altering any shots whatsoever those
first
2 months.
But
I just think what feed do you have? Who's your?
I just think he's a different guy. I think he's settled in. There's a swagger, and I don't know. He just seems like he's figured it out. I don't know if that means he should be the defensive player of the year.
If we have to talk about it, it's starting to mean that he should be. That was Bill Simmons and Ryen Russillo discussing Wemby.
More specifically, I think if you have to start creating arguments against him.
Why not?
Right. And I'm not going to say that it's unfair to bring up team success. It's a factor, but there's context involved, right? Like and I don't mean to. I mean, Wemby is clearly one of the 15 best players in the NBA
already. I don't think there's any question.
Okay, so any team would experience a significant drop off without that kind of player on their team. I don't know that Rudy Gobert is would you say he's a top 15 player in the NBA?
No.
Right. Okay, so the drop off without Rudy Gobert is not as significant. Minnesota's a much better team. I mean, is Rudy Gobert clearly the best defensive player on his own team, but is he the best player on his team?
No.
I know it's a defensive award, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like we're giving Rudy Gobert the award because reasons. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to really say why he deserves it over Wemby, other than that he is on a better team.
I think more than anything else, Wemby's just going against you earn it the year before you get it. You show you can do it, and then you do it mostly like you did the year before, and you'll get the award. You don't have to be the best that time, and Gobert had showed he could do it before. And that's just kind of the pretense for a lot of these NBA awards. But I'm starting to get the sense that he's going to double up on this thing, because Gobert now is dealing with a team without Karl Anthony Towns as a protector.
Right.
And Cat wasn't a great defender, but he did enough to take some of the heat off Gobert that I think we're going to start noticing that defense got a little worse without Karl Anthony. And, Anthony Edwards is going to take some presence. Ryen Russillo, after that, it made it known in that conversation that he's voting for Wemby as Defensive Player of the Year. And I get the sense that because it's a secret ballot, there might be a bunch of guys that are going to talk a good game about Rudy Gobert that are going to, hold on to the party line. But once they get into the voting booth, might this go toward what their conscience tells them. What Russillo was saying, his eyes tell him, look, he's the best defender in the league. There's not any question.
Nobody wants to be the first person out on a limb, whatever the limb is, right? And I give Russillo some props for saying, putting his money where his mouth is. Now, I will say that his dismissal of net rating I understand the point he's making. He's being a little bit funny, but there's value in that. There's value in all information. And I think that ultimately you have to kind of rely on, I wouldn't say common sense, but what you see. And the reality of the situation is that Wemby is far and away the most stifling, suffocating defensive player in the NBA. And he's not on a good team. And some of that, however much you want to say, is Wemby's fault. But obviously it's not entirely his fault. Just like, what percentage do you think is larger? The percentage in which the Spurs are bad that falls on Wemby, or the percentage in which the T-Wolves are good that falls on Gobert? Does that make sense? More
Victor, without question.
Like you're saying, he's saving the Spurs more than Rudy is helping.
Can you imagine what this team would be like without Victor? Now, granted, they've won a couple of games without him, and that's not what I'm talking about. The defensive efficiency without him last year, without him, and this is essentially the same cast of characters, was the worst in NBA history. I mean, we were getting toward biblical numbers that we talk about in the ancient ages, like a 500-year-old man. Like, how is that even possible kind of defense? So if we just go off that, they're head and shoulders above what they were. But that's just the beginning of a guy just standing on the court.
What if I retorted to that and said, yeah, well, just because Wemby helps the Spurs so much isn't really anything, because the Spurs didn't help him. Like, Wemby looking great on a roster that the Spurs didn't put a lot of energy towards making great isn't representative of Wemby. It's more of an indictment on the Spurs and their roster building.
There's no question, and I think that's where we're sitting. But then you go, okay, let's do the eye test. Just go watch the game, and remember, Defensive Player of the Year is not the guy with the most blocks award for the year. That there's more to defense than just blocking shots at the rim. Now, that's his specialty because he's 7'4", and more than anything, that's all that Gobert is, a paint-protecting rim guy. That's it. Go watch Wemby play defense on 3 levels. Watch him square up and defend a point guard. Now, he tends to get blown by, but he's out there doing it and will alter the game. Watch him stand out on the wing when they go into that weird zone where he is just blocking off one side of the court. And then go watch him force the dribble through, which is a new thing in the NBA, where the point guard heads toward the rim, realizes there's no way he's going to get a shot up, and just dribbles through and comes right back out, wasting clock and losing passing angles. All those things come down to a defensive player. It's not quantified. It's not statistically available as he alters shots or completely takes a shot away that is never taken that probably would have been. if you watch the games, you go, well, I can't quantify what he's doing, but I know what he's doing is better than anybody else just by watching what's going on around him.
I'm ready to say it. Wemby's defensive player of the year. We've talked myself into it. I don't know where you stand.
And you even, and Russillo brought up, it would be nice if there was, what you need to be the rookie of the year, a defensive player of the year is you better average 4 blocks a game. If you don't have 4 blocks, don't even apply. So 4 blocks, 3 steals, 8 alterations. If you don't have that, you need not apply, but there's not that bottom barrier. There's not that hurdle you have to clear. It's the eye of the beholder. And that's another problem with the Spurs because they've been so bad. There hasn't been a lot of eyes to behold it. You know what your eyes can behold live? That's a boxing match at the Techport that is just around the corner. And we want you to behold it with tickets from us. It's World Championship Boxing that's coming to the Techport on Saturday, March 30th. It's just around the corner. Freddie Roach is bringing his new star. It's Gio Cabrera. He'll be headlining the whole thing along with Justin Figueroa, and Shariah Maru will be fighting along with other great Texas fighters. You want to go? Get on your device, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If Edwin talks to you and you're the third person to be spoken to, as otherwise known as caller number 3, you're going to go check out a great fight out at the Techport. Great location for boxing. It's going to be a fun night. And Freddie Roach, he's always got talent. He'll be bringing him out there. So caller number 3, you are going to see the fights on us. The Blitz is just a couple of hours away. On days like this, for years, RJ, I would be hinting to people that you're going to have to call in sick tomorrow or Friday, and you should have already been laying the groundwork. You should have probably come into your boss yesterday, but today is not too late. Now you have the added benefit of COVID. Used to, you had to kind of work your way into a sickness so you could be out Thursday or Friday. Now you can just, find a stock photo of 2 lines on a pregnancy test, say, oh, tested positive, I got to stay home. But in the good old days, you had to start working on like Monday with just a little bit of a cough. Like, man, I'm just not feeling right. I'll be here tomorrow, though.
If you could structure in a world where you could, where you were deploying this strategy, what day is the better day to watch?
Well, it has to be Thursday. Yeah, it really is, because it's the beginning. You always feel like you miss. I've done Thursday and I've skipped out on work on Fridays back in the previous lives. And I always felt like Thursday I was missing out, even though Friday was still more fun and I had 3 straight days. Thursday, 11 a.m., first tip on somebody's, at somebody's bar, like we will be out at Twin Peaks, or on somebody's couch, wherever it might be, is just about the best thing in the world, because to be there on a Thursday at 11 a.m. playing hooky and watching ball, everybody has that little bit of I'm getting over on somebody when you get a chance to do that.
There's an expression that the incredible Dave Damashek uses that I like for moments like that. You really feel like you're cheating life.
Yes.
It's just,
and it's tomorrow. So I would like to offer my services. You know where I am. If you need somebody to write you a note, I can't come into work. I've got other responsibilities. Signed,
Rob will be your doctor.
I'll be your doctor of.
Just say your phone number out loud. People can call you and be like, "Oh, he has a sickitis right now."
They can reach me at 656-3776.
There you go.
Just leave a message or talk to Edwin, and if you need a voucher. But we've got it. Play hooky with us tomorrow. We'll be at the Days of Allah locale of Twin Peaks. We do it every year. It's a lot of fun. There's lots of friends I see only at that event. So put on your jersey, come out and hang with us. The show will start at 2. Now the games are going to start at 11. Make sure you get your brackets in, and there's lots of places to do that. We have our own. Go to sasportstar.com. Get yourself entered there. Grand prizes to be had. And of course, the 4-letter and the 3-letter and all the other ones to get in. I will have my official one tomorrow morning. It will be the permanent and final one.
We can represent
that and many other things. As we are about to run out of time, RJ, do you have any sage advice in the last 2 minutes of our Wednesday edition of the Morning Huddle?
You know what? Go flour. Just live a little. Corn, you can have another day, but you might as well go flour. Enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've worked hard, go flour.
As an Anglo male living in South Texas, I can be sitting at a table with a variety of different ethnicities, and I'm just one of I'm always just given flour.
There's no.
They don't
there's
even.
no
I mean,
thought that you
very
would prefer
rarely. They
corn.
even, do you want corn? They look at me like, oh no, he's you want flour. And for the most part, they're right. But there are days that I want corn, especially when I'm dealing with a caldo or a nice soup.
Well, today go flour, and the flour with just a little bit, of just the.
When was the
little bit of
last
dough.
time you had a throwdown great Mexican meal? I'm talking Tex-Mex, enchilada. When was the last time you had like throw down? This is what I'm doing. I'm tucking the napkin in. There's going to be some grease flying.
This is a weird answer, but it was the burrito that I had from that one place in Las Vegas when we took it back to the house, and I think you would attest. I devoured that thing, and it was technically a Mexican dish. It was a burrito, and I don't know if I was just that hungry, but it was among the best burritos I've ever had, quite frankly.
Well, I think we should treat it's Enchilada Wednesday.
Okay.
Everybody should go get themselves some good old enchiladas today.
Yeah.
Celebrate spring, get some enchiladas, and be back in time to listen to Greeny and to Rome, who is coming in on a vine. The Blitz is going to be busy today. They're going to get here at 2. Make sure you sign in and listen to them. There are going to be lots of complaints about the Dallas Cowboys.
Now, Ernie Johnson, you love him.
Yeah. If you missed anything of what we did today, sasportstar.com is your locale. We call it the Audio Vault. It's brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. Ernie Johnson is on the one today. The GOAT and RJ. That's reason enough to celebrate. I want to thank everybody for staying with us. Make sure you like, listen, and share. See you tomorrow.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your